The emergence of these comments instantly elicited a flood of astonished reactions. Gifts rained down in the live stream, with both Shijia from Modu and the clever young user contributing the most, each showering 66 festival gifts. The two now openly contended for the title of the day's top contributor. Lin Shun, observing the spirited Bazin, smiled gently and remarked, "We agreed to stop at a friendly exchange. Let us refrain from further combat. What is martial arts? Some say it is a means of enhancing physical strength. Others refer to it as a technique for adaptive combat. Still, some describe it as a method for targeting vital points. In truth, all perspectives hold merit. At its core, traditional martial arts represent a systematic approach to enhancing one's adaptability in combat through a series of practice techniques. The purpose of martial arts routines is to compress the response time during actual confrontations through years of training, allowing practitioners to dismantle opponents' offensive maneuvers and exploit their vulnerabilities with devastating effectiveness. However, this theory does not apply to Lin Shun in the present day. With his physical attributes having surged dramatically, his cognitive abilities and perception now far exceed the ordinary. Even without formal training and routines, he possesses ample time to contemplate how to counter Bazin's assaults in the blink of an eye. Moreover, with absolute control over his body, he can execute the quickest reactions based on his assessments instantaneously. This is what is referred to as countering an attack with an appropriate response. In their earlier exchange, Lin Shun had held back much more than one-third of his potential. Had he unleashed his full strength, that final kick could have easily propelled Bazin entirely through the air. Not to mention, he had yet to reveal his trump card, the elusive foot technique of Foshan. Through their earlier encounter, Lin Shun had gained a general understanding of Bazin's physical capabilities, which were nearly 3 times that of an average person. Coupled with his rigorous wrestling training and exceptional adaptability, defeating 5 or 6 ordinary adults would be a mere trifle for him. Having discerned Bazin's strength, continuing the bout seemed unnecessary, as victory was already assured. Bazin, clearly unwilling to concede, opened his mouth to protest, but was interrupted by a stout woman wielding a spatula, accompanied by Zhuoma, who emerged from the hall. The woman approached Bazin directly and, without hesitation, began to strike him on the head with the spatula, delivering a stream of reprimands in the local dialect that those from central China could not comprehend. Bazin, unable to evade, repeatedly pleaded for mercy. After 7 or 8 strikes, the woman finally relented, offering one last warning before returning to the hall. Bazin, with a look of lingering fear, glanced back at the woman's retreating figure and turned to Lin Shun, conceding, "You have indeed won." It was clear to him that Lin Shun had not fought with full force. Otherwise, he would not have merely taken a single step back. Suddenly, filled with excitement, he looked at Lin Shun and posed a question that countless viewers were eager to know. "Do you know martial arts?" Lin Shun chuckled. "Do you think what I just used was martial arts?" Bong pondered briefly before shaking his head. It shouldn't count. Bong, a wrestling expert himself, had a certain understanding of various national martial arts from the Central Plains, such as Bajiquan, Xingyiquan, and Wing Chun. Strictly speaking, Lin Shun's earlier performance could only be attributed to his extraordinary physical qualities. His strength, reflexes, and adaptability were remarkable, quite different from the martial arts Bong had envisioned, and it did not resemble Sanda or foreign combat techniques. Lin Shun chose not to elaborate further. Standing by, Zhuoma, who had not witnessed their sparring, suddenly widened her eyes upon hearing this. This delicate, fair-skinned, and handsome man from the Central Plains actually defeated her father? The audience in the live stream erupted with excitement at Basang's remark. "What? That doesn't count as martial arts? Wow. I thought Lin Shun would find a way to gloss over it, but it turns out he used someone else's words." As expected of Lin Shun, all that's left is his stubbornness. Regardless of whether it's martial arts, what Lin Shun just did is something very few can achieve. Indeed, even if it's not martial arts, Lin Shun has definitely trained. His physical abilities are far superior to the average person. Don't stop. Keep fighting. After being reprimanded by his wife with a spatula, the sparring session came to an end. Bong approached Lin Shun. His eager gaze seemed to see a treasure. Suddenly, he asked, "Lin Shun, are you married? What do you think of my daughter Zhuoma?" At that moment, the disheveled Yuanyang brother, just waking from a nap, stumbled out of the hall. His eyes widened in shock. What on earth is happening? What did I miss? Has Lin brother done something again? Chapter 142, Astonishment. Lin Shun carries a codex with him. Lin Shun was momentarily taken aback. Huh? Not far away, Zhuoma, who had not left with her mother, felt her face flush instantly. Father. Yet her gaze was bold, unabashedly sizing up Lin Shun, as if genuinely contemplating the matter. In fact, girls from the Sichuan region are not averse to boys from the Central Plains, especially in recent years, where intermarriage has become quite common. If it weren't for the high altitude and significant differences in lifestyle and entertainment options, as well as the great distance, such unions would only increase. Due to her family's operation of a guest house, Zhuoma had encountered many people from the Central Plains. In terms of temperament and appearance, Lin Shun was undoubtedly the finest she had ever seen. Moreover, despite his seemingly frail physique, he had managed to outmatch her father, making him even more impressive. Yuanyang brother, standing at the entrance of the hall, glanced at Lin Shun and then at the bashful Zhuoma. With a gasp, he rushed over to Lin Shun, his face brimming with gossip. Lin brother, what's going on? Are you planning to marry in? The live stream chat exploded with excitement. Wow, the prairie folks are so straightforward. After just a few exchanges, they want Lin Shun to become a son-in-law. Bong, little Lin, do you want a wife? Just say the word, and you can consummate the marriage tonight. Ha ha ha, look at Lin Shun's expression, utterly bewildered. It's too funny. Lin Shun, as a young man, you must protect yourself out there. I'm dying of laughter. Lin Shun is indeed a walking target for affection. Uncle Bong, don't get your hopes up. Lin Shun wouldn't even consider being your family's son-in-law, let alone marrying into your family. Look at Zhuoma's gaze. She's clearly smitten. Oh, comparing myself to him makes life seem so unfair. Here I am, over 30. Just a craftsman, while Lin Shun shines so brightly. Sister Shi from Magic City, the clever little account, Zhuya who loves butter tea. Your man is about to be snatched away. Lin Shun chose to ignore the gleaming eyes of Yuanyang brother and sighed. Uncle Bong, I currently have no thoughts of marriage, and I am merely passing through here, with no plans to stay long in Sichuan. Bong laughed heartily. As long as you have eyes for my daughter Zhuoma, none of this is a problem. Zhuoma is only 20, teaching at the village elementary school, so there's no rush to marry. I have 200 yaks and 500 sheep. If you and Zhuoma come together, that'll be her dowry, as long as you both like each other. It doesn't matter if you don't stay in Sichuan. Wherever you settle down, she will follow you to that city, and I absolutely won't oppose it. Lin Shun forced a smile, feeling awkward, unsure of how to respond. Zhuoma's expression dimmed as she turned and entered the hall. Yuanyang brother, realizing the situation, promptly said, Uncle Bong, Lin Shun actually has a girlfriend, and not just one. They are either starlets or CEOs, even a young princess from $100 billion listed group, an investigator from Zhenan Division, an internet streamer, or a nurse. He's actually quite the playboy. He flirts around without taking responsibility. So don't be deceived by his appearance. Upon hearing this, several tourists nearby, especially Yang Yang and Momo, were astounded. They looked at Lin Shun in disbelief. Could this really be true? Others were simply curious about which starlet Yuanyang brother was referring to. Two middle-aged men, covered in mud, were also dumbfounded. The middle-aged man, in particular, gazed at Lin Shun with a sudden glare of jealousy. Meanwhile, the audience in the live stream was in stitches. Yuanyang brother is bold. Doesn't he fear receiving a lawyer-esque letter from Sister Clever and Sister Shi, a nurse? Wow, are you counting D. Gully Zha in that? $100 billion group heiress? That's ruthless. Yuanyang brother even included his own sister. Ha ha ha. From Yuanyang brother's words, I sense the deep-seated resentment he harbors. Why does Lin Shun have such good luck with women while I am left with only the study materials on my hard drives for consolation? I suspect Yuanyang brother is trying to slander Lin Shun indirectly but lacks evidence. Jealousy has transformed Yuanyang brother's face. Lin Shun, good brother. I sincerely thank your ancestors for 3 generations. I hadn't realized it until Yuanyang brother mentioned it. Turns out Lin Shun is quite the scoundrel. Oh, if only I could be as fortunate as Lin Shun, I'd gladly let him toy with my heart. Amidst the rolling barrage of comments, Sister Shi from Magic City remarked, Yuanyang, I advise you to be cautious with your words and actions. As soon as this comment appeared, numerous viewers erupted in laughter. With countless ha-ha-ha, and the main character has arrived comments flooding in. Following this, the clever little account chimed in, Yuanyang, I advise you to be cautious with your words and actions. Zhuya, who loves butter tea, added, Yuanyang, I advise you to be cautious with your words and actions. Snowy Footsteps remarked, Yuanyang, I advise you to be cautious with your words and actions. D. Gully Zha from Old Capitol Bridge remarked, oh, why did I get dragged into this? I'm so shy, so nervous. Zaijiajia said, Lin Shun, let's meet at Haishi City. Remember to bury it deep. Seeing the main characters continuously appearing to warn Yuanyang brother, the live stream chat went into a frenzy, with a flurry of 666 and 999. Many were asking Yuanyang brother if he was nervous. Hearing Yuanyang brother's words, Lin Shun almost choked. He cast a deeply scrutinizing glance at Yuanyang brother. Realizing that he had underestimated him, his talent for weaving tales was almost on par with his own. Bong was also taken aback. And then his gaze toward Lin Chun held a hint of admiration. He cautiously glanced at the entrance of the hall before quickly hiding this unexpected expression. He then stated earnestly, being unmarried doesn't count. In our Sichuan region, there has long existed a tradition of polygamy, though its prevalence has diminished significantly in recent decades. For remarkable men, having one or two additional wives is hardly surprising. Lin Chun displayed no astonishment, for he was well aware of this reality. Even today, in a few remote areas of Sichuan, the customs of polygamy or polyandry persist. However, in these instances, it often involves two sisters from the same household marrying the same man. This practice has gradually emerged primarily due to the challenging living conditions and underdeveloped productivity, aimed at consolidating labor and family assets. Upon Ba Sang's revelation, the live stream's comments section erupted with fervor. For those from the Central Plains, it was unfathomable to comprehend such phenomena. Numerous viewers, familiar with the intricacies, began to enlighten others in the comments, sparking a wave of awe, admiration, and even envy. Many expressed a sudden desire to undertake teaching in Sichuan. After Ba Sang spoke, he noticed Lin Chun's lack of interest and refrained from further discussion on the matter, instead turning to assist in the kitchen. Meanwhile, Yuan Hang bombarded Lin Chun with inquiries. Upon learning that Lin Chun had indeed engaged with Ba Sang and held his ground, he lamented his missed opportunity, exclaiming he had let a fortune slip away. Lin Chun chuckled. Weren't you supposed to be sleeping? How did you wake up so quickly? Yuan Hang replied earnestly. Didn't we say we were having roasted lamb? I feared oversleeping, so I set an alarm on my phone. At that moment, Yang Yang and Mo approached, with Yang Yang inquiring, Lin Chun, do you really have that many girlfriends? Unaware of the prior banter that had led to ridicule in the comments, Yuan Hang greeted them warmly. He quickly clarified, however, that he was merely jesting, worried Lin Chun might take it to heart. After their departure, Yuan Hang could not help but express, Lin Chun, that Zhuo Ma seems quite remarkable. Don't you have any thoughts about her? Lin Chun cast him a sidelong glance, half smiling, and teased, ISNT at you who has thoughts? Go ahead. With so many cattle and sheep, you could feast for a lifetime. Unexpectedly, Yuan Hang took the plunge. After Zhuo Ma returned, Ba Sang went to help in the kitchen while she took on the role at the front desk. From Lin Chun's and the live stream's perspective, Yuan Hang leaned over the front desk, beaming as he conversed with her. Zhuo Ma glanced at Lin Chun in the yard before engaging with Yuan Hang. The comments section exploded with reactions. Wow, did Yuan Hang just trespass? How dare this rebellious fellow encroach upon Lin Chun's harem? Impressive. Is Yuan Hang really prepared to forsake his billion-dollar inheritance for love? I can guess with my little toe that Yuan Hang is undoubtedly trying to strike up a conversation with Lin Chun. Isn't he the son of a billion-dollar conglomerate? Has he never seen a woman? Look at him grinning like that, still with sleep in his eyes, so pathetic. In the face of love, everyone is humble. I dare say, Yuan Hang has no chance. Indeed, with Lin Chun's prior claim, it's hard to believe Zhuo Ma would take an interest in Yuan Hang. Prior claim? When did that happen? Amidst the banter, a distinctive siren of the Town Security Bureau echoed. The live stream camera pivoted to reveal a Town Security Bureau vehicle, its lights flashing as it entered the courtyard. Two agents disembarked, and the two muddy-faced middle-aged men instantly paled. Lin Chun approached them, narrating the situation. He then produced a backup phone and displayed the live stream replay to the agents, presenting undeniable evidence. The agents' piercing gazes fell upon the two middle-aged men, who, realizing their impending doom, one hastily exclaimed, I want to file a report too. The owner of this guest house, Ba Sang, assaulted me. Moreover, Lin Chun and Ba Sang just fought. Everyone can attest to it. One agent chuckled, you shattered Uncle Ba Sang's chair. He merely evicted you to protect his property. As for your claim of fighting, that is utterly absurd. Here in the Sichuan grasslands, wrestling is a daily occurrence. Your situation is entirely different. He shot a peculiar glance at Lin Chun, for it was indeed remarkable that Ba Sang, renowned for his wrestling prowess within a wide radius, could not best a man from the Central Plains. In truth, on their way there, they had already received a call from their superiors to treat Lin Chun with caution. Though it was not explicitly stated, it was clear that Lin Chun's background was extraordinary. As it turned out, he was indeed remarkable. After completing the report, the Town Security Bureau agent inquired whether Lin Chun would accept mediation. Lin Chun firmly declined, insisting that punishment be administered and prosecution pursued. The agent immediately took action, placing a silver bracelet on the middle-aged man. The man, now desperate, shouted as he was shoved into the Town Security Bureau vehicle, Lin Chun, just you wait. When I get out, I will have someone kill you. Lin Chun swiftly retorted, he threatened me and jeopardized my safety. According to the Public Security Administration punishment law, Threatening another's safety with serious circumstances warrants detention of 5 to 10 days and a fine of up to 500 yuan. The man fell silent. Like a duck caught by the throat, his voice abruptly cut off. The two town security bureau agents exchanged glances. One of them bemusedly gestured an O sign to Lin Shun. After the town security bureau vehicle turned around and sped away, the onlooking tourists gazed at Lin Shun with a mix of shock and reverence. Who was this person, who seemed to have memorized the legal code before stepping out? Such a formidable individual could not be trifled with. Chapter 143, A Lavish Dinner. 1,000 cups, yet not drunk. The live stream comments surged with excitement. Wow. Lin Shun is ruthless, so well-versed in legal terms. Truly Lin Shun, never one to let an opportunity slip. Ha ha ha. Offend Lin Shun and expect a favorable outcome. As a law professional, I feel inadequate. How can a mere streamer know legal clauses better than I? Lin Shun is simply extraordinary. No breaks, just keeps on delivering justice. I just realized Lin Shun streams are pure legal education. I've learned yet another trick for incarceration. My parents often scold me, saying they beat me to death. Can I report them for threats? Learning so much. My wife threatens to kill me daily. I think she is serious, and I want to report her too. The comments were a chaotic mix. Not far away, since the arrival of the town security bureau personnel, the young woman who had accompanied the middle-aged man trembled uncontrollably. Previously, she had brazenly berated Lin Shun, yet now she dared not utter a single word, watching helplessly as the man was taken away. Hearing Lin Shun invoke legal statutes, she felt on the verge of tears. How long would he be imprisoned? Without her financial backer, what would she do in this desolate place? Had she known such events would unfold, she would have never insisted on coming to Haishi City after the off-road vehicle had been toppled by a yak. Casting a fearful glance at Lin Shun, she noticed no one was paying her attention and quietly slipped away. In this village, Ba Sang's guest house was the best available. But there were other options. Regardless, she could no longer bear to remain in Lin Shun's presence. This man radiated an aura of danger. Lin Shun paid her no mind. Turning to enter the hall, he found another chair to sit and poured himself a cup of butter tea from the kettle on the table. The other guests in the guest house regarded him with peculiar expressions. Yuan Hang returned, taking a seat beside Lin Shun, just by looking at his face. It was evident that he had suffered a setback with Shuama. Lin Shun did not inquire further and poured a cup of butter tea for himself. Behind the counter, Shuama's gaze occasionally flickered in his direction, causing Lin Shun to feel somewhat uneasy. Shortly thereafter, Bong and his wife began to bring out an array of dishes. The offerings were abundant, featuring home-cooked meals, sampa, and local delicacies such as clear braised yak meat. Bong and his wife presented silver bowls, pouring their homemade barley wine into each one and delivering them to everyone. When it came to Lin Shun, he stood up to receive it with both hands and dipped his ring finger into the wine, flicking it upwards 3 times. Basang's eyes brightened at this sight, and he laughed heartily, saying, Lin Shun, you are quite knowledgeable about our customs. Lin Shun smiled modestly. I know a little. Yuan Henggu quickly asked, is there a significance to this? Lin Shun explained, according to the customs of Sichuan, the ring finger is the finger of reverence for the divine. When a guest receives wine from the host, they must dip their ring finger into the wine and flick it 3 times towards the sky, as an offering to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, while also expressing gratitude to the host. If one is unable to drink, they can simply flick the wine towards the upper right 3 times, and afterwards return the cup to the host, who will not insist on them drinking. Those familiar with the custom nodded in understanding, while those hearing it for the first time displayed looks of realization and followed suit. In fact, the Sichuan region, due to its widespread Buddhist faith, has many customs to observe that permeate everyday life. Failure to adhere to these can be perceived as disrespectful. However, with the rise of tourism in Sichuan over the past decade or so, local residents have adopted a more tolerant attitude, generally overlooking certain details. As time went on, everyone began to indulge in the delicious food, while the hospitable Bong took turns toasting and casually introduced the local drinking customs to the guests. For example, the custom of 3 sips from 1 cup, meaning that guests are required to drink 3 sips, with the host refilling the cup after each sip. And by the 3rd sip, they must finish the drink. When the guests sampled the barley wine, many grimaced, not due to its taste, but because its alcohol content exceeded their expectations, rivaling that of strong spirits. In truth, many harbor misconceptions about barley wine, assuming it to be of low alcohol content. However, it can indeed vary widely, with strong varieties exceeding 50 alcohol. The wine being served was a medium-strength barley wine, ranging between 40 and 50 degrees, crafted by Bong himself. As Bong and his wife enthusiastically poured drinks, they began to sing a melodious toast song. although the attendees could not comprehend the lyrics. The atmosphere at the table grew increasingly jubilant with each sip. Those with a lower tolerance quickly felt the effects. Lin Chen soon became the center of attention. Following the previous events, the tourists had looked him up online and discovered they were in the presence of a prominent influencer and a chart-topping original singer. Instantly, a desire to befriend him arose, and they toasted to him, eagerly requesting a group photo. In the end, Bong seemed particularly fixated on Lin Chen, toasting him repeatedly. And Lin Chen, albeit reluctantly, reciprocated each time. The viewers in the live stream were thoroughly entertained. Goodness, is Bong planning to get Lin Chen drunk? This is it. Lin Chen's purity might be at risk tonight. Don't worry, we all know Lin Chen's drinking capacity, right? He just downed a bunch of raw oysters at lunch. Exactly. It's precisely because he drank so much at lunch that it's a bit concerning. Residents of plateau regions have a drinking capacity that cannot be compared to those from the Central Plains. Uncle Bong clearly has a high tolerance. And Lin Chen has met his match. Place your bets on who will fall first, Lin Chen or Bong. As the revelry continued, Zhuoma emerged from the kitchen, calling for her mother to return with her. Soon, the two of them presented a large wooden platter. A whole roasted lamb, adorned with a red ribbon from its horn to its tail, glistened golden and aromatic, devoid of any gamey smell, making mouths water at the sight. After displaying it, they placed the roasted lamb on a small table beside them. Zhuoma took a knife, skillfully peeling the skin and cutting the meat into thick slices. She then wielded a cleaver with vigor, chopping the bones into large pieces, her striking demeanor contrasting sharply with her delicate appearance, prompting a flurry of astonished comments in the live stream. Once completed, the platter was brought to the table, with dipping sauces and small knives placed before each guest. Everyone immediately began to feast. What had previously seemed a bit pricey at $600 for the room now felt entirely worth it. After taking her seat, Zhuoma began to sing a toast song, raising glasses to the guests. Compared to Bong, her voice was even more enchanting, and her drinking capacity was no less than his. Her cheeks growing redder while her eyes sparkled brighter with each drink. After a round of toasts, several guests declared they could drink no more. With Yang Yang and Momo collapsing onto the table, Zhuoma eventually turned to Lin Chen, toasting while engaging in conversation. Thanks to the advancement of the internet, Zhuoma was surprisingly well informed about matters beyond her village, from international affairs to entertainment gossip, much like girls from the Central Plains. Lin Chen handled the conversation with ease, and before he knew it, he had downed several more cups. Sitting diagonally across, Bong watched with a smile, indulging in his own drinks. However, Bong was destined for disappointment. Given Lin Chen's current physique, it would be a challenge for him to become intoxicated. Yuan Henggu, observing Lin Chen's vigorous drinking, became somewhat alarmed, fearing for his well-being. After discreetly shielding Lin Chen from 2 more drinks, he found himself pulled in by Bong for a drink, unable to withstand it. He promptly exclaimed, "Lin Gu, Zhuoma has been singing for quite a while now. Why don't you sing a song too? I'll go fetch you a guitar." He then swayed upstairs to retrieve the room key. Chapter 144. Who is Tana? Now Lin Chen found himself at a loss for words. Yuan Henggu quickly returned with the guitar. Several tourists who had not yet succumbed to intoxication eagerly anticipated the moment, cheering and clapping enthusiastically. Yang Yang and Momo, roused from their stupor, lifted their heads to see Lin Chen picking up the guitar. Their spirits rekindled as they struggled to retrieve their phones to record the moment. Slightly tipsy, Lin Chen smiled and said, "Here in Bayuchawa village, I shall name my song after this village." The crowd erupted in approval. The viewers in the live stream were equally thrilled. Goodness, Lin Chen is truly a walking jukebox. Is he going to create a song on the spot? Lin Chen is incredibly talented. Where does his inspiration come from? How many songs has he sung from yesterday to today? I have a feeling this will undoubtedly be another classic. Some individuals are indeed favored by the heavens. In ancient times, we had the poet Li Bai. And now we have the song god Lin Chen. Lin Chen shares a similarity with me. He writes songs when he's drunk, while I tend to ramble. Goodness. When I drink too much, I call my ex-girlfriends, and I always get their names wrong. As the strings strummed, Lin Chen sat cross-legged, cradling the guitar, and began to sing softly. There is a place, far, far away, where the winds blow, and the ancient grasslands sway, a proud mother, with a gaze profound. Tender words of Tana, in sweet sounds abound. The night of Bayuchawa, that Muha. He transformed the night of Ulaanbaatar into the night of Bayuchawa. What delighted Basang's family most was that the lyrics surprisingly incorporated a few phrases from the local dialect. This was a tranquil song, a melody dedicated to the people of the grasslands. In this world, no singer from the Central Plains had ever sung such a style of song. The audience was captivated, and the comments in the live stream dwindled significantly. Many spectators could not help but close their eyes, as if they were immersed in a tranquil yet melancholic night on the vast prairie, feeling the gentle desolation. As the final notes faded, Lin Shen set aside his guitar and lifted the silver bowl before him, taking a sip. Applause erupted, and the live stream's comment section was ablaze with excitement, filled with numerous expressions of admiration. Although many anticipated Lin Shen's song would be remarkable, they were taken aback by its sheer beauty. Most notably, the song was so fitting for the moment that it transported the listeners to another realm. Suddenly, a curious viewer inquired, "Who is Tana?" This question was followed by a flurry of similar comments, igniting laughter among the audience. As the lively banter continued, Lin Shen glanced at the comments and his eyes widened in astonishment, feeling an urge to laugh out loud. These women had an amusing perspective. The original artist had sung it this way. How could he possibly know who Tana was? Such matters required no explanation, as they were inherently perplexing. He chose to disregard the provocations from Li Xiao and others intent on stirring the pot. Once the chatter subsided, Lin Shen expressed his wistfulness, stating that the song would have been even more perfect with the accompaniment of a morincourt. Bazin, with a hearty laugh, suggested that if Tana were replaced with Zhuoma in the lyrics, it would be even more splendid. Lin Shen was taken aback by this statement, his hand trembling as he raised the silver bowl to drink. The audience erupted in laughter at the scene. "I think that's a splendid idea. Lin Shen, you might as well sing about Zhuoma directly. Then there would be no misunderstandings." Zhuoma shot her father an annoyed glance before rising to fetch a morincourt. With unwavering determination, she looked at Lin Shen and said, "I will accompany you. Can you sing that song again? As long as the lyrics remain unchanged. I am more than happy to assist." Lin Shen readily agreed, but asked if she remembered the tune. Zhuoma smiled proudly, asserting, "People of the prairie don't need to learn how to sing." Without further ado, Lin Shen sang the Night of Bayou Chawa once more. To everyone's astonishment, Zhuoma indeed remembered the melody. With the morincourt accompanying him, Lin Shen's rendition took on a richer essence of the prairie, evoking a different flavor altogether. Thunderous applause followed. The gathering continued until nearly 10 o'clock, finally dispersing. Seeing Lin Shen still composed, Bazin regarded him with a mix of satisfaction and regret. This young man was indeed born for the prairie. Alas, he and Zhuoma seemed to lack the destined connection. Bazin noticed Zhuoma's budding affection for Lin Shen, but Lin Shen himself held no such intentions. After the event, he assisted his friend, Yuan Hang, upstairs, and after his friend finished freshening up, he retreated to his own room. Just as he settled down, a P-invite caught him off guard. "Mango Factory's Wang Chun has sent you a P-invite." He chuckled, addressing his audience. "What do you think? Should I accept?" The viewers, having spotted the notification, erupted in a flurry of comments. "Wait, what is going on? Is that really Wang Chun? Isn't he's supposed to be taking care of James at the old Capitol Bridge? What a surprise. Looks like the Mango Factory hasn't given up. Could he be out of a job and looking to become a streamer? Wow." Just as Lin Shen sits down, the drama unfolds. Countless comments urging him to accept flooded the screen. Lin Shen promptly replied, "Xiao Ji, agree to the P-invite." In the next moment, the scene shifted to reveal a man wearing a white neck brace, dark circles under his eyes, and an unusually haggard appearance. It was indeed Wang Chun. Upon seeing Wang Chun in such a state, Lin Shen was momentarily stunned, as were the viewers, who soon burst into laughter. "What happened to you, Yurin brother? Isn't it a bit early for winter wear? LOL, that neck brace suits him perfectly." By now, Wang Chun had earned the nickname Yurin brother in Lin Shen's livestream. Lin Shen chuckled, recalling that earlier, while purchasing cordyceps, he had felt he was being followed and had muttered a curse, targeting Wang Chun and James. It seemed the curse had indeed taken effect. Lin Shen asked, "What brings you here, Wang Chun?" Wang Chun, with an intense glare and a heavy heart, replied, "Lin Shen, I've been fired." This revelation sent shockwaves through the live stream. The Mango Factory is so heartless to fire our Yurin brother. James isn't human. After all, Yurin brother was there for him in the hospital, and this is the outcome? Is Yurin brother blaming this on Lin Shen? Since meeting Lin Shen, Yurin brother has had nothing but bad luck. No wonder he is so bitter. Yurin brother, don't take it too hard. Just move on. Lin Shen couldn't help but laugh. How does your firing concern me? Although it was indeed quite relevant, it was not something he could openly admit. Wang Chun, hearing this, glared even more fiercely, his anger boiling over. How can it not concern you? If it weren't for you, James wouldn't have been injured and hospitalized, and I wouldn't have had to take care of him. If I hadn't been looking after him, I wouldn't have accidentally broken his leg again, almost causing him to choke on a straw. Ultimately, this is all your fault. Lin Shen was taken aback. Wow. Is the intermediate curse this powerful? I only muttered for a short while, and it almost led to James' demise. And what on earth happened for someone to choke on a straw? Lin Shen struggled to fathom such a sequence of events. However, it was understandable why Wang Chun was fired. If he were in James' position, he would have done the same. The comments section exploded once again. James has broken his leg again, and he almost lost his life? This is utterly ridiculous. How unfortunate can one be? Forgive me for laughing until tears streamed down my face. Brother Niao, this time I stand with you. Well done. Has everyone followed the news? The stock of Mango Factory has plummeted 4 points from yesterday to today. Brother Niao, you misjudged Lin Shen. Do you believe that even without this incident, James would likely still pin the blame on you? Brother Niao, I don't believe it. I just want Lin Shen to take responsibility for me. At this moment, Lin Shen could no longer suppress his laughter. He then remarked, so what? Do you want me to throw a carnival to comfort you? To everyone's surprise, Wang Shen also began to chuckle. No, after I was dismissed by James, Vice President James was also suspended from all duties. Mr. Peng, the president of Mango Factory in the region of Datong, personally called me to reinstate my position. Some events occurred after my interaction with you, and many self-media outlets reported selectively. Take, for instance, the incident where your phone was stolen during the day. Many self-media outlets are recklessly speculating that it was orchestrated by us at Mango Factory. This has severely impacted Mango Factory's reputation. Since the origin of the matter lies with you, I contacted you to read a statement of clarification from Mango Factory before everyone in the live stream. Saying this, he took out a tablet, preparing to read the painstakingly crafted, composed statement from the Public Relations Department of Mango Factory. Just then, Lin Shen raised an eyebrow, his fingers suddenly tapping on the screen of the live streaming phone, abruptly ending the connection. The live chat exploded with comments. Damn it. I knew this guy was up to no good. I'm dying of laughter. I've seen those reports he mentioned. Whereas the selectivity. Indeed. Wanting to collaborate with Lin Shen but being rejected is true. Isn't it? The bald man himself said this. You being scared is also true, isn't it? Just rejected last night, and the next day Lin Shen's phone gets stolen. It's entirely reasonable for everyone to be suspicious. No one said it was definitely you who stole it. Why are you so anxious? Is it really that you have no shadow to cast? I initially thought Mango Factory wasn't that foolish, but now it seems they might just be. Lin Shen, you did well to hang up. Don't connect with him again. I had some sympathy for him at first, but now it seems like the lesson isn't harsh enough. Look at how he relies on his power. The barrage of comments was filled with insults, though many held differing opinions. Lin Shen's phone was stolen, and the Zhenan Bureau even issued a statement. Some self-media outlets, in a frenzy to gain attention, have indeed spread rumors that negatively impacted Mango Factory. What is wrong with them issuing a statement now? Self-media is too chaotic. They listen to the wind and take it as rain, speculating from every angle, afraid they might miss out on the hot topic. Though I despise Wang Chun, I still think it's reasonable for Mango Factory to clarify things. Disappointed. This time Lin Shen seems to lack a broader perspective. I also don't believe Mango Factory would resort to such underhanded tactics for a mere phone. At that moment, Wang Shen sent another invitation. The vast majority of comments were don't accept. Yet Lin Shen chose to connect. As the interface switched, everyone saw the barely contained fury on Wang Chun's face. Before Wang Chun could speak, Lin Shen interjected, "Don't rush to bark, let me finish." The clarification statement from Mango Factory can easily be posted on Weibo. The reason for connecting with me now, no matter how you phrase it, is that you think my live stream has high traffic and wide reach? If you want to leverage my popularity, that is fine, but you must provide some advertising or public relations fee, right? I don't need much, just 1,000 carnivals. Read after payment. Isn't that a reasonable request? If you can't afford it, then do it yourself. Upon hearing this, Wang Chun nearly spat out blood. However, Lin Shen's words were indeed factual. The claim that the origin of the matter lay with Lin Shen was unfounded. The primary reason was that Lin Shen's live stream had over 26 million viewers online in real time. Countless reporters and self-media bloggers were lurking in this live stream, ready to write related news and ride the wave of popularity. The impact was far greater than Weibo. Moreover, it was now evening, and the market in Saichi country had opened again. The stock of Mango Factory was in freefall. Therefore, to ensure this statement could ferment and become widely known in Tang country as swiftly as possible, reading it in Lin Shen's live stream was the most effective method. This proposal was originally suggested by Wang Chun to Mr. Peng, and he received praise for it, thinking everything would go smoothly. He never expected Lin Shen to be so shameless. 1,000 carnivals equated to 3 million Tang currency, and it had to be paid up front. Why don't you go rob someone? Chapter 146, A Wild Price Surge. The grand rhythm arrives. Lin Chen's statement infuriated Wang Chun to the brink of an aneurysm. The audience in the live stream was ecstatic, with comments flying in. Wow, Lin Chun is incredible. I can't breathe. Lin Chen's operation is simply stellar. Everyone, come quickly. Lin Chun is cashing in. Low emotional intelligence. You are extorting. High emotional intelligence. Understand advertising and public relations fees? This wave of cashing in is entirely reasonable. Lin Chun, don't forget to send a red envelope after you're done. True to his name, Lin Chun clearly doesn't regard Mango Factory highly. Lin Chun is spot on. If you want to advertise, you have to pay for it. Given Lin Chun's current popularity, 1,000 carnivals is not excessive. Mango phone users express support for Lin Chun. After cashing in, don't forget to share a portion. Countless viewers showered gifts. Then, they saw Wang Chun trembling with rage. Exclaiming, You're extorting. Lin Chun frowned, promptly hanging up. He then smiled at the live stream, saying, Viewers, do you think he will connect again? If you think he will, press 1. If you don't, press 2. Instantly, the barrage of comments was filled with 111 and 222. Overall, those pressing 1 were in the majority. Half a minute later, Wang Chun connected again. Lin Chun chose to accept the call. At this moment, Wang Chun forced a smile. Lin Chun, your price is too high. Can you lower it a bit? Lin Chun sighed. I'm sorry, but the price has gone up. It's now 2,000 carnivals. Wang Chun. His expression froze, remaining unchanged for several seconds, leading one to suspect a glitch in the stream. Soon, his face visibly reddened. The audience in the live stream erupted in laughter. Ha ha ha, I can't take it anymore. I'm truly going to die laughing in Lin Chun's live stream. Lin Chun is so cunning, but I love it. Ha ha ha. Wow. He directly doubled the price? Only Lin Chun could pull that off. I suspect Lin Chun has done something like kidnapping before. He is too skilled at this. I thought the previous moment was the peak. I didn't expect I had underestimated it. 2,000 carnivals? I've never seen so much money in my life. Lin Chun is remarkable. Regardless of whether Wang Chun pays this money, Mango Factory has lost face. Everyone, look, Brother Niao, he is about to explode. Wang Chun, with a face flushed red, took several deep breaths to finally suppress the urge to smash his phone. Watching the barrage of sarcastic comments in his live stream, he felt his blood sugar plummeting and realized that perhaps he should never have connected with Lin Chun in the first place. With the situation having developed to this point, regardless of whether this money was paid or not, his reputation was tarnished. Had he known it would come to this, it would have been better to propose an advertising fee for Lin Chun from the very beginning. He forced a smile and said, I cannot make a decision on this matter. Please wait for 2 minutes while I consult with someone. Lin Chun, displaying remarkable patience, nodded in agreement. Go ahead. I will wait for you. Wang Chun immediately stepped aside to make a phone call. Lin Chun then addressed the live stream. If the Mango Company releases this sum of money later, I will distribute another round of foaming coin red envelopes to everyone. Consider it a treat for a midnight snack. The barrage of comments instantly erupted in applause. Many viewers who had come to witness the spectacle quickly prepared their fan badges. Meanwhile, since the connection between Lin Chun and Wang Chun began, some individuals rushed to other major streamers to spread the news, particularly to the streams of Quan Go and Wendao Go. Wow, Lin Chun is currently connected with a senior executive from Mango Company, extorting $1 billion live. Lin Chun is verbally sparring with the Mango Company executive, who is visibly distressed. The screen is filled with chaos. How ruthless. Everyone come quickly. The Mango Company executive, humiliated by Lin Chun, is in a standoff, once again berated. It's over, it's over. Lin Chun is connected with the Mango executive and has received a lawyer's letter. The exaggeration was palpable. However, in truth, the number of troublemaking viewers was not substantial. The live stream hosts, Quan Go and Wendao Go, noticed the comments and their expressions changed. Wendao Go, remaining unfazed as he promoted products, disregarded the comments and promptly issued several large red envelopes. Unlike other types of streams, the audience in his session primarily consisted of housewives and older individuals who were more interested in bargains than the unfolding drama. Consequently, the atmosphere in Wendao Ge's stream quickly calmed after the red envelopes were distributed. As for Quan Go, the top streamer in the P community, he was engaged in a long-anticipated showdown with another major P streamer. At this moment, his audience was far below expectations, and with time running short, anxiety crept in. He shouted a few phrases to rally his fans, but noticed little effect, especially as comments regarding Lin Chun's situation flooded in. His audience dwindled by several thousand. Feeling that Lin Chun was significantly affecting his popularity, Quan Go's eyes turned red with anger, and he erupted, Damn you, Lin Chun, is this never ending? I'm calling you out. You little dog. Just because you think you have backing, does that mean you can act recklessly? The higher you jump, the harder you fall. You'll soon be the next Tong Shan. All moderators, take action. Ban all of Lin Chen's fans. Instantly, dozens of notifications for bans appeared. To be frank, compared to Lin Chen's current popularity, a few dozen fans coming to disrupt the rhythm hardly constituted a crowd. This was an unavoidable occurrence during major streamers' broadcasts. Before Lin Chen, even during Quan Go's showdown, several fans sporting Quan Go badges had come to Lin Chen's stream and were quickly banned by Xiao Zhi's automated system. Now, it was Quan Go himself who had lost his composure, targeting this small group of viewers. Quan Go's words only served to stoke the flames, igniting the chaos. His fans, witnessing their streamer's fury, also erupted in outrage. The collective sentiment surged, and they began to leave Quan Go's stream, flocking to Lin Chen's instead. Quan Go immediately noticed that his audience had shrunk by nearly a fifth, dropping to just under 6 million. His mind snapped to attention, his expression shifting dramatically as alarm bells rang in his head. He understood that Lin Chen was now a coveted figure in the eyes of certain higher-ups, a protected asset. Earlier that day, Yang Dunhai had scolded him over the phone. Now, his outburst would surely ignite a full-blown conflict between the two streams. The situation could spiral out of control. Yet, with no path of retreat available, Quan Go realized his mindset had already become unbalanced, a crucial factor in his sudden explosion. Why should a newcomer have such audacity when all of them were top-tier streamers? The enmity had long been established, and a confrontation was inevitable. It was merely a matter of time. Who was afraid of whom? With this thought, Quan Go refrained from telling his fans to avoid Lin Chen's stream, choosing to ignore the rapidly dwindling numbers. After calming himself, he continued to shout for his supporters. However, his mind was already detached from the ongoing showdown. In Lin Chen's stream, countless viewers awaited Wang Chen's report, speculating whether the Mango Company would indeed provide the funds. Suddenly, they noticed a surge of over 2 million viewers. A plethora of individuals sporting Quan Go's fan badges began to flood the comment section with derogatory remarks. Lin Go, kneel down. So, the king of the underworld is looking for trouble, huh? Control your dogs in the stream and stop spamming comments. Quan Go stated he was calling you out, you little dog. Newcomers, don't be so ostentatious. Do you know how Tong Chuan fell? I was tricked into coming here, thinking there would be something good. Lin Go, is this how you gain your traffic? Lin Go, don't be so despicable. As this wave of comments appeared, the audience in Lin Chen's stream was taken aback. Anger swiftly followed, and before they could retaliate with comments, they noticed a rapid succession of ban notifications. Regardless of whether they had commented or not, all viewers wearing Quan Go fan badges were banned for a year. After the initial shock, many recalled the time of the Zhan Nantian rumor incident, when Quan Go and his fans had taken advantage of the situation. Lin Chen had previously commanded Xiao Zhi to ban Quan Go and his fans without exception. Now, Xiao Zhi acted, and the comment section was instantly cleansed. Observing this scene, Lin Chen's gaze turned slightly cold. He then addressed the audience. Everyone in the stream, don't go to Quan Go's side to stir up trouble. Let us focus on our own broadcast. Once the matter with the Mango Company is settled, we can discuss Quan Go. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Chen's figure reappeared on the P screen, his demeanor markedly different, a hint of pride in his gaze. With a slight smirk, Wang Chen proclaimed. Chapter 147, The Sinister Gamble. The battle erupts. From the moment Wang Chen re-emerged on the P screen, Lin Chen understood that this man had become overly confident. He was about to hear Wang Chen say, 6 million is merely a trifle. The Mango Company can afford this amount. However, since we are live, let us take a different approach. A gamble. You can open a poll in your stream for the viewers to vote on whether Mango phones or Tangwa phones are superior. If you win, I will add 3 million more and send you 3,000 carnival gifts, while we will no longer discuss the statement. If you lose, we will reconnect, and I will earnestly read the statement to you. Of course, if you lack confidence in Tangwa phones, you are welcome to refuse and simply hang up. As if I had never connected with you. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. The Mango Company had some astute individuals. In such a brief time, they concocted such a strategy. This wager, though it appeared trivial, would shift all pressure onto him. Since the sanctions against Ju Factory over a year ago led to a chip shortage, market share had dramatically declined. The Mango phone had seized the opportunity, firmly establishing its dominance in the mid to high-end smartphone market. Given the many years the Mango phone had been in the Tangwa market, its user base was exceptionally vast, with a multitude of loyal fans. Only the Mango Company itself likely knew the exact number of users utilizing both new and old models. This knowledge was the foundation of Wang Chen's audacity in proposing this gamble. If Lin Chen chose to accept, and subsequently lost, given his current popularity. It would undoubtedly incite a massive storm of debate, exacerbating the existing tensions. This tension had objectively existed and had intensified over the past year. Not only does this tension exist between the manufacturers of chrysanthemum powder and mango powder, but it also permeates the relationships among various mobile phone manufacturers in Tang country. Online, countless citizens fervently advocate for domestic products and rally behind the chrysanthemum brand. However, the reality is that whenever the mango factory launches a new device, throngs of people rush into their stores. It is both ironic and starkly realistic. Behind this phenomenon, there seems to be an invisible hand deliberately orchestrating events. Much like the recent discussions surrounding gender antagonism, certain foreign forces undoubtedly prefer chaos within Tang country. Online disputes are not enough. They seem eager for tangible conflict. Thus, should this gamble be lost, some individuals may covertly exacerbate this division while publicly mocking the citizens of Tang country to provoke their emotions. For Wang Chun and the mango factory, this situation not only resolves Lin Chen's dilemma, but also serves as an extravagant display of self-promotion, simultaneously diverting attention from the unfavorable currents surrounding the mango factory over the past few days. Conversely, if Lin Chun were to decline this wager, both Wang Chun and the mango factory could easily extricate themselves, turning the narrative to highlight the doubts of a popular streamer regarding Tang country's mobile phones and extolling the virtues and popularity of the mango devices. This tactic would effectively serve both self-promotion and the diminishment of the citizens' confidence in Tang country's products, while simultaneously undermining Lin Chen's popularity and inviting derision upon him. In short, it is a calculated move to injure both reputation and spirit. As events unfold, this wager must be accepted and won. A flurry of thoughts raced through Lin Chen's mind as he regarded the smug expression of Wang Chun on the screen. A cold glint flickered in his eyes. Is this a game of deceit? No matter how cunning, can they truly invoke a curse of misfortune? Just wait. Noticing Lin Chen's silence, Wang Chen's smugness was barely contained. Why the silence, Lin Chen? Are you afraid to accept? If so, we can drop it. In the live stream, the barrage of comments surged rapidly. The majority of viewers, lacking deeper contemplation and brimming with confidence in Tang country's phones, urged Lin Chen to accept the gamble. Yet, a few astute observers sensed the lurking dangers. Regardless of whether Lin Chen declined or lost, the outcome would not bode well for him. 2 seconds passed before Lin Chen smiled softly. Of course, I shall accept. How could I resist such an entertaining wager? However, let us modify the terms slightly. We shall commence in your live stream. To avoid any excuses of home field advantage should you lose. If we are to play, let it be to your complete satisfaction. Upon hearing this, the comments exploded with excitement. I admire Lin Chen's perspective. This move is flawless. Some foreigners simply cannot handle defeat and resort to excuses. As a mango phone user, I must support Lin Chen. My next phone will undoubtedly be from the chrysanthemum factory. I too am a mango user, yet the current domestic phones, in terms of both system and performance, are no less than mango phones. In some aspects, they even surpass them. Brand value aside, there is no need to choose mango. I confess, I bought a mango phone out of vanity, but I find domestic products far superior. I am a fan of Punch Dog, but I have since abandoned the brand. I stand with Lin Chen. Down with Punch Dog. Lin Chen's stream is far more captivating. Brothers, foreigners are encroaching upon our doorstep. We must unite. Longtime chrysanthemum users await the new release. Count me in. Mango users here. We must rally together. Numerous familiar yet long-forgotten phone brands appeared in the comments, evoking a profound sense of nostalgia. It was particularly moving to see a multitude of mango phone users step forward to support domestic products, stirring an inexplicable surge of emotion and pride within. This is Tang country. Regardless of internal discord, it is not for foreigners to dictate our narrative. When the time comes to unite, our focus must be outward. As Lin Chen observed these comments, the last vestige of apprehension dissipated. Perhaps the strategists at the mango factory had derived a conclusion from quantitative data that assured victory in this gamble. However, they overlooked one crucial detail. Humans are not machines, nor are they mere cold numbers. What defines humanity is the soul. The people of Tang country, with their rich civilization spanning 5 millennia and having endured a century of suffering, embody this essence even more profoundly. The term Tang country soul is an indelible mark etched into the very fabric of its people, bearing a weight that those who prioritize profit above all cannot fathom. The reasons Tang citizens choose to purchase and use mango phones are manifold, yet it does not imply that every individual genuinely favors the mango brand. Even if they do, It does not mean they will tolerate the Mango Factory's methods of demeaning Tang Country. Lin Chen smiled and continued, "Dear viewers, I shall refrain from further commentary. After concluding this connection, I encourage everyone to visit Wang Chen's live stream and vote according to your true sentiments. Should I ultimately lose, and someone must bear the blame, it shall be I, Lin Chen." With those words, Lin Chen ended the connection. In the next moment, millions upon millions surged into Wang Chen's live stream. A fierce battle was about to unfold. At the Wind Sound headquarters, a technician on the night shift intently monitored the screen, nodding repeatedly while holding his phone. "Rest assured, Mr. Zhang, Manager Yang has already called me. The bandwidth for Wang Chen's live stream has been adjusted in advance. There will be no issues." After ending the call, he gazed at the skyrocketing traffic curve on his computer screen, wiping the cold sweat from his forehead. Just moments ago, when Wang Chun proposed the wager, Yang Dunhai had called him, and unexpectedly, shortly after, Wind Sound's president, Zhang Qianji, personally reached out to reiterate the same instructions. Ensure that the bandwidth for Wang Chen's stream is sufficiently large to prevent a crash from the sudden influx of viewers. What they had not anticipated was the overwhelming wave of traffic that now surged in, surpassing even official promotional efforts. This surge clearly indicated the immense popularity Lin Chen commanded. In Punch Dog's live stream, after a tirade against Lin Chen, Punch Dog received a call from high-ranking official Mi Dong of Wind Sound. The latter reassured him not to panic. What was meant to happen would inevitably come to pass. There was no hint of blame in the words spoken, which somewhat alleviated Punch Dog's anxiety. Ultimately, Punch Dog managed to secure a narrow victory in the match by exploiting a loophole, preserving his reputation as the top streamer. Under normal circumstances, he would engage in banter with the opposing streamer, who would reluctantly undergo a mild punishment, followed by both sides exchanging harsh words and agreeing to a rematch. After hanging up, he would typically unleash an energizing background score to express gratitude and encourage his fans to support the top contributors. This entire process would usually take at least 30 minutes. However, at that moment, he found himself devoid of any enthusiasm for theatrics. He hastily ended the connection, staring silently at the live stream comments, his expression growing increasingly somber. In the barrage of comments, many fans were exuberantly celebrating their victory, while others engaged in heated exchanges with viewers who had come from the losing PS livestream. However, it was quite surprising to see a significant number of supporters wearing the Punch Dog fan badge fervently flooding into Lin Chen's livestream. The viewership of the livestream was plummeting due to these comments. At that moment, Punch Dog suddenly realized he had made a grave mistake by directing traffic towards Lin Chen. Lin Chen's ability to attract fans was overwhelmingly powerful. There should be no circumstance under which his own fans should wander into Lin Chen's domain. Even if the reason was to support him, once they left, many would be unlikely to return. Those who were spamming the comments were nothing but traitors. Not even mentioning others, even he himself, upon reading the comments from these turncoats, felt a strong curiosity and wanted to check out what was happening in Lin Chen's livestream. Reassured by the comforting call from Mr. Mi, Punch Dog was now utterly panicked. How could this continue? Yet, at this moment, he dared not end the stream. He feared countless fans would flock to Lin Chen's stream to witness the spectacle. Immediately, Punch Dog casually connected with a fairly close acquaintance, a pretty girl from the beauty sector. While engaging in light banter, he held a spare phone in his hand and entered Lin Chen's livestream under a secondary account. He was taken aback. Why was there barely 1 million in popularity? That shouldn't be the case. A glance at the barrage revealed that many had flocked to Wang Chen's livestream at Mango Factory. He swiftly entered Wang Chen's stream and was left astonished, his eyes widening. The popularity was over 25 million. If this included the viewers still lingering in Lin Chen's stream, Lin Chen's true popularity must have surpassed 30 million. Such a magnitude eclipsed even the peak of the illustrious Fomin's brother, Fan Mao Mao. Aside from Fomin's annual gala, only a handful of genuine entertainment icons from the older generation had achieved such astonishing viewer counts during Fomin's live streams. A chill enveloped Punch Dog's body and mind. He felt numb. This was the true king of traffic. Previously, while disparaging Lin Chen, he believed it was unjust that Lin Chen could act so arrogantly. Now he understood. In the world where traffic equates to everything, Lin Chen, possessing such terrifying traffic, had every right to be so bold. What made him even more distressed, to the point of wanting to spit blood, was that a considerable portion of this high traffic stemmed from his own livestream. A casual glance at the comments revealed numerous viewers adorned with Punch Dog badges, posting messages like "strongly support domestic products, must support Lin God, hee. I'm on your side, please don't scold me, I'll remove the Punch Dog badge later, and I want to remove my Punch Dog badge. I will be Lin God's undercover agent from now on. Among them were even frequent supporters of his. Weren't they calling themselves dog fans? When did they become so civilized and polite? And what with the hee-hee? He cursed under his breath. What kind of brainwashing potion had Lin Chen poured into them? Had they completely forgotten their purpose? They should be the ones getting berated. The more Punch Dog read the comments, the angrier he became. His eyes turned crimson, and his breath quickened. A sudden wave of dizziness hit him. In Wang Chen's live stream, it took nearly 2 minutes for Wang Chen, who was live streaming for the first time, to successfully start the broadcast amidst a barrage of urging and insults. In an instant, hundreds of thousands, even millions of viewers began voting with free gifts. In less than half a minute, the vote count exceeded 15 million, with the red blood bar representing domestic phones slightly ahead by over 100,000 votes. Wang Chen's expression darkened as he hurriedly urged the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, let us vote based solely on the performance and brand value of the phones. So please, ensure your votes are fair and objective, and do not be swayed by unnecessary emotions. Lin Chen, watching Wang Chen's livestream with his spare phone, nearly burst out laughing upon hearing that. For heaven's sake, don't let unnecessary emotions sway you. This guy had changed nationality for so long that he had truly forgotten he was once a citizen of Tang country. He was utterly oblivious to the fact that such comments, especially at this juncture, would only backfire, effectively self-sabotaging. As expected, with the vote count rapidly escalating, the gap between the two sides widened. The barrage was filled with curses, with many declaring themselves as Mango users. Wang Chen's expression grew increasingly grim. This situation was entirely beyond his expectations. Realizing that the 3-minute voting time was running low, he gritted his teeth and announced, "If we win this vote, I will give away 50 of the latest Mango phones in my next livestream to thank everyone for their support." Upon this declaration, the comments erupted in an uproar. What the hell? Can't handle losing so you resort to a lottery? How shameless. Isn't this supposed to be a fair vote? What's this? I'm laughing. This is indeed the style of the colorful Flag Nation. As soon as they're about to lose, they start playing dirty. Mango phone users feel disgusted. I'm selling my phone on Xinyu tomorrow. This is so disgusting. Isn't this against the rules? However, despite the barrage of curses, the number of votes for Mango phones visibly surged. Many viewers were once again repulsed, denouncing the voters as traitors. As the vote count gradually caught up, Wang Chen's face showed signs of relief, and he shamelessly smiled. I never agreed that we couldn't use a lottery to solicit votes. So this isn't against the rules. In Lin Chen's livestream, many viewers who had already voted returned, angrily suggesting that Lin Chen should also solicit votes. Lin Chen smiled faintly. While it's true that as long as the law doesn't prohibit it, one can act, I believe what he is doing is quite disgraceful. I want to solicit votes because I firmly believe that domestic phones are not inferior to Mango phones and will only improve. After these words were spoken, mere seconds later, a sudden shift occurred in Wang Chen's livestream. Millions of viewers adorned with the Feifei sister badge surged into Wang Chen's livestream, casting votes for domestic phones. Feifei sister's fans are here to support. Support domestic phones, support Lingard. What is a Mango phone anyway? My whole family uses domestic. If Feifei sister hadn't mentioned it, I wouldn't have known. This is truly intolerable. No more words. Mango Factory must be slapped in the face tonight. Following this, an increasing number of fans from other live streams flooded in, ranging from dozens to hundreds, even thousands. Streams of support converged into a torrential wave. As time passed, Wang Chen's expression grew increasingly grim, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. Even when he increased the number of phones in the lottery to 100, he still could not sway the outcome. With less than 30 seconds remaining in the voting period, the gap became exceedingly apparent. The tide had turned. Lin Chen silently smiled. Wang Chen had yet to grasp the essence of live streaming. The number of voters was in the tens of millions. Yet the number of phones for the lottery was merely 100. The odds of winning were akin to a lottery ticket. The vast majority would not believe that fortune would smile upon them. Thus, it could not influence the overall trend. In the barrage, countless viewers began to count down. After the final 5 seconds elapsed, the voting results were unveiled. The votes supporting domestic phones triumphed. The comments erupted in joyous celebration, while Wang Chen's face turned ashen. He knew he was finished. He had even started to contemplate how the Tang media would report this event. The suggestion to connect with Lin Chen was his own. Yet the reversal of the phishing theory has backfired spectacularly, leading to a significant blow to the reputation of the Mango Factory. If he does not take the blame, then who will? At that moment, all the viewers in his live stream suddenly found the screen went black, devoid of any visuals. Yet, they heard Wang Chen's astonished voice. What happened to the screen? Damn, why is my phone so hot? Is it frozen? Isn't this supposed to be the latest high-end model? I should have known better than to use a Ju factory phone. Shortly thereafter, Wang Chun let out a sigh of relief. If it's frozen, so be it. At least I won't have to see those annoying comments. Mr. Peng even remarked that most users of Mango phones in Tangwa subconsciously have already been westernized. Yet, the outcome turned out to be this way. Alas, it seems he truly must resign. Chapter 149. Consequences of One's Own Actions. The revelry in the live stream, these words reverberated through the live stream, causing the previously rapid-fire comments to pause momentarily before resuming their frenzied pace. Oh my god. What a colossal joke. I'm laughing so hard. How can the latest Mango phone freeze during a live stream? Sure, they say it's due to too much traffic. But this is truly a slap in the face. Lin Shen's live stream has maintained over 20 million viewers for a long time. How come it never froze? I'm a new Mango phone user, and I'm particularly concerned about the overheating issue, as I've encountered the same phenomenon. It turns out everyone misjudged Yurin brother. Who would have thought he was one of us, rooted in Mango but with his heart in Ju factory? Impressive. Yurin brother initially aimed to vindicate the Mango factory during this live stream, but ended up getting slapped in the face and explosively revealing the truth. Mr. Peng, the CEO of Mango factory in the Tangwa region, he must have lost his mind, thinking he could westernize the Tangwa people with just one phone? To be honest, while there are certainly some users who have westernized among Mango users, it's nowhere near as many as they imagine. Mr. Peng's remarks are truly chilling. What does the Mango factory intend to do? Same question. What does the Mango factory intend to do? Unbeknownst to Wang Chun, he inadvertently spilled significant information, bringing further negativity upon the Mango factory. Resignation? That was out of the question. Dismissal was the only option. Unfortunately, after mumbling a few words, Wang Chun forcibly shut down and restarted his phone, causing the live stream to close automatically. Countless viewers flocked back to Lin Shen's live stream. Within mere seconds, Lin Shen's popularity soared past 30 million, with gifts pouring in. Among them, Yi Xiaoxi was particularly generous, sending out a staggering 666 carnival gifts. Following suit, Zhu Geqiong also contributed 100 carnivals. The rivalry between Ju factory and Mango factory was well known. Witnessing Lin Shen's merciless trampling of the Mango factory, they naturally opened their wallets. At this moment, Lin Shen found himself at a loss for words. Wang Chen's phone freezing and the revelation of damaging information had nothing to do with him. After all, he hadn't even had the chance to utter the curse of misfortune. However, he felt no sympathy for Wang Chun. The man had simply brought this upon himself. Any suffering he endured was well-deserved. As the viewers began to return in droves, he spoke up. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now await the Mango factory to send those 3,000 carnivals. Furthermore, regarding the earlier mention of sending red envelopes, after some consideration, I have decided to adopt a better approach. Once those 3,000 carnivals arrive, I will conduct a lottery for 1,000 lucky viewers, each receiving a domestic phone valued between 4,000 to 5,000. The winners can specify their desired brand and model in a private message. At that point, I will place the order directly from the official website and have it delivered to your home. You need not thank me, as this money is essentially provided by the Mango factory, so do extend your gratitude to them in the comments. Upon hearing this, the comments erupted. Lin Shun is incredible. Lin Shun is so generous. I roughly calculated, and that's nearly 5 million. Oh my god. Lin Shun is absolutely the #1 in lottery giveaways. This is too generous. Ha ha ha. Using the Mango factory's funds to gift domestic phones. Lin Shun has truly played the game brilliantly. If the Mango factory doesn't send those 3,000 carnivals, they will surely be criticized mercilessly. Mr. Peng, is this not a bit disgusting? Can't you behave like a decent person? Lin Shun is actually not at a loss. A fan badge costs 1 dime. And with his current popularity, gifting each person a dime amounts to 2 to 3 million in gifts. Oh my god, I used to fantasize about how, if everyone in the country gave me a penny, I could become a billionaire. I never expected it to come true with Lin Shun. Only someone of Lin Shun's stature would dare to do this and still profit. Those who haven't gotten their fan badges yet should hurry. You can't go wrong for a dime. Take a chance. A bicycle could turn into a motorcycle. Strive for it, and dirt could turn into gold. As the comments continued to scroll, countless individuals sent fan light signs, joining Lin Shen's fan club. Among them were numerous fans of Quan Go, who decisively removed their support for him and switched their allegiance to Lin Shen. Meanwhile, Wang Chun, having rebooted his phone, received a call from Mr. Peng. The line was filled with polite greetings from the company. The more Wang Chun listened, the paler his face became, and his body trembled. Finally, when Mr. Peng hung up, he collapsed to the ground. It was truly over. Mr. Peng had made it abundantly clear on the call, from this moment forward. He was no longer an employee of the mango factory. Moreover, he would receive no compensation. His year-end performance bonus and severance pay would be calculated based on those 3,000 carnivals. If he was dissatisfied, he was welcome to sue. Would Wang Chen dare to sue? He wouldn't. After so many years at the mango factory, he had accumulated significant gray income both overtly and covertly. If an investigation were to occur, it would not merely be a matter of money. His very freedom was at stake. Suddenly awakening from this nightmare, Wang Chen hastily picked up his phone and entered Lin Chen's live stream, reviewing the playback. Soon, the blood drained from his face. His lips trembled as he glanced back at Lin Chen's live stream. Realizing through the comments that Lin Chen intended to use the gift money from the mango factory to purchase Tang Gua phones for the audience. This was akin to trampling the dignity of both himself and the mango factory into the ground. It was a blatant act of humiliation. Not just defecating on one's head, but also borrowing toilet paper. Was it necessary to be this ruthless? The thought that a significant portion of those phones was purchased with his own money made Wang Chen's heart ache even more, a surge of blood rising in his throat. With a sudden cough, he spat blood in rage. 3 minutes passed. Just as countless viewers were growing impatient with the comments and preparing to create a scene beneath the Mango Factory's social media, the official Mango Factory account appeared in Lin Chen's live stream. Subsequently, they announced, the official Mango Factory account has sent 1,000 carnivals. The comments exploded instantaneously. They're here. Thank you, Mango Factory. Ha ha, we VU1. Lin Chen is incredible. So slow. I've waited so long I could wither. I've already thanked them twice. Finally. They VE arrived. I'm laughing so hard. The Mango Factory has truly been humiliated. I knew the person who offered the phone gifts must be feeling quite uncomfortable right now. Thank you, Mango Factory. Thank you, Mango Factory. In the end, just as Lin Chen had predicted, countless viewers began to express their gratitude. Thank you, Mango Factory. Each utterance of thanks felt like countless invisible slaps across the faces of the high-ranking officials at the Mango Factory who were following the incident. After the official account sent the gifts, they said nothing further and exited the live stream. With the Mango Factory's gifts now accounted for, many onlookers who had been observing could no longer contain their excitement. The prompts for obtaining fan badges flashed wildly. Is it merely a dime? One would hardly bother to pick it up from the ground. Yet what if one were to strike it rich? Curiosity led some to visit Lin Chen's homepage, and they were instantly taken aback. To date, Lin Chen's follower count had soared to an astounding 36 million, with his fanbase exceeding 10 million. It is worth noting that when Lin Chen first crossed paths with Xiao Xiaoshan, he had just over 50,000 fans. The Foaming platform had previously witnessed the emergence of phenomenal streamers who achieved overnight fame and experienced a meteoric rise in followers. However, none matched the staggering pace of Lin Chen's ascent. At that moment, Lin Chen chuckled, expressing his gratitude to the Mango Company for the 3,000 festival gifts, remarking on their generosity. As he had mentioned earlier, he was about to commence a fan lottery. He promptly set it in motion. Soon, 50 lucky viewers were selected in each round. After 20 rounds, a total of 1,000 fortunate participants had been drawn. The winners were brimming with excitement. Many generously offered the Foaming #1 as a token of gratitude, while also flaunting their good fortune. Fortunately, in this world of Foaming, every individual's ID is unique, preventing any chance of impersonation when claiming prizes. After the lottery concluded, Lin Chen announced, "Congratulations to the winners. You may fill in your address and contact details, as well as specify the brand and model of the phone you desire, in the prize program backstage. Tomorrow, my friend Yuan Hang and I will assist you in placing the orders online." The barrage of comments from the winners erupted with cheers, while those who did not win lamented their fate, filled with envy. The chat was a cacophony of voices, lively and chaotic. Observing this, Lin Chen smiled and reassured the audience. For those who didn't win, fret not. There will be more opportunities in the future. He then adopted a serious demeanor, stating, "Now that we have concluded matters with the Mango Company, let us discuss the issue concerning Quan Go." Chapter 150. Your life is truly a failure. Upon hearing Lin Chen mention Quan Go, the combat fans in the live stream became exhilarated. Here it comes. Finally. It is our turn to shine. This sentiment resonated with all the combat fans. It is indeed unfortunate. Other streamers often leverage combat fans to achieve their goals. Yet Lin Chen stood alone, defeating adversary after adversary by sheer will. Millions of combat fans found themselves utterly sidelined. Who would dare to believe it? At this juncture, it was clear that Lin Chen was preparing to confront Quan Go. Naturally, all the combat fans were eager and ready to charge into the live stream. Lin Shan paused momentarily before continuing. Many of you in the live stream may not know me well and might harbor some misconceptions, thinking I am overly combative. However, I am quite the opposite. I prefer to broadcast in peace. Alas, in the world of streaming, one cannot always dictate their circumstances. Despite having no grievances, my mere existence seems to threaten others, prompting them to prepare to take me down. Just like the previous incident involving Zhang Nanshan's rumors. When Brother Wenda and Quan Go brought a crowd of fans to mock me during my stream, I endured that moment, only banning them without uttering any harsh words, which those who witnessed the live stream can attest to. Upon hearing this, many of the viewers present began to comment. Indeed, it was disheartening back then. Brother Wenda, Quan Go, and several other streamers close to them came here to ridicule Lin Shan. It nearly drove me mad. Initially, Brother Duan was the same. Ultimately, it was all for profit. I detest Brother Wenda the most. He was the one who first dubbed himself the king of the underworld. Lin Shan truly has it tough. Besieged by a horde of major streamers, Lin Shan glanced at the comments and continued. I believe that as fellow streamers on the same platform, some conflicts can be overlooked. However, this does not imply that I am easy to bully. I am uncertain of Quan Go's thoughts, but as the scale of the live stream grows, it is inevitable that some fans will bring their own agendas to our streams. If you simply ban them, I have nothing further to say. If one cannot even withstand this level of pressure and adapt, then what right do they have to call themselves top tier? However, it is evident that Quan Go has been hurling insults at me in his stream while allowing his fans to invade mine. To be honest, I am no longer inclined to endure this, nor is there any need. We are all streamers, so let us address this issue in the way that streamers do. If he claims to be the king of the P, then let us engage in a P battle and see what gives him the audacity to be so arrogant. As soon as he finished speaking, he promptly sent a P invitation to Quan Go. However, a notification appeared indicating that the other streamer was currently engaged in a P battle with someone else. In Quan Go's live stream, he had been watching Lin Shan's broadcast using a secondary account since the beginning. Upon realizing that Lin Shan had shifted his focus onto him after wrapping up matters with the Mango Company, his expression changed dramatically. When he heard Lin Shan assert that he was unworthy of being top tier, Quan Go's face darkened significantly, his anger boiling beneath the surface. Noticing that Lin Shan could not connect, Quan Go abruptly ended the call with the female streamer he was linked with. Shortly after, a wave of viewers carrying Lin Shan's fan badge flooded into his live stream, relentlessly mocking him for his inability to connect. The fans from both sides erupted into a heated argument, the tension escalating rapidly. Quan Go raised an eyebrow and declared loudly, "Brothers, it was clearly Lin Shan's fans who first disrupted my stream, yet he plays the victim and claims we are in the wrong. Now he wants to challenge me to AP battle. What say you? Shall we fight or not?" With the anger of his fans already stoked, they naturally cheered for battle. Quan Go, emboldened by their support, proclaimed, "Since you all say so, let us take him down. I will rely on your support, everyone. Let us unite." Seeing many wealthy fans in the comments expressing their intent to support him, Quan Go felt a sense of relief and ceased to elaborate further. He tapped a few times on his phone and sent a P invitation to Lin Shan. When Lin Shan received the P invitation from Quan Go, he accepted it without a second thought. The live stream instantly switched to the P interface. On the right side of the screen, Quan Go appeared, his appearance unremarkable. Unlike ordinary indoor streamers, he was muscular and exuded an air of explosive energy. When enemies meet, there is a palpable tension. Quan Go, with his fierce gaze, boldly stated, "Lin Shan, this confrontation was initiated by you. No matter how it unfolds, I am ready to accompany you to the end." After speaking, he glanced at his backup phone, where a message from Mi Dong reassured him to fight without worry about finances. His confidence surged. Lin Shan merely smiled faintly, replying, "As for who initiated this, the audience is well aware. There is no need to elaborate. Competing by spending money is the least interesting approach. Everyone knows I have ample funds in my account. Even if you lose, you would undoubtedly remain unconvinced. Since you claim we can fight however we please, let us adopt a more refined approach. Let us engage in a singing contest." Upon hearing this, Quan Go's expression froze, nearly causing him to spit blood. Who doesn't know that Lin Shan is a singing deity? A singing competition? How dare you utter such a shameless challenge? Meanwhile, Lin Shan's audience erupted in laughter. "Lin Shan, you are magnificent. Ha ha ha. Lin Shan has certainly exceeded my expectations. You've outdone yourself. Come on, Lin Shan, why not challenge him to a dance-off instead? What a letdown. I thought we were about to witness another battle of wealth. Indeed, a money battle is dull. This is far more entertaining. I sense Lin Shan is about to outshine Quan Go. This is hilarious. Is Lin Shan attempting to seize the title of P-King from Quan Go? Conversely, in Quan Go's live stream, many comments criticized Lin Shan for his shamelessness, while others were busy sharing their favorite songs by Lin Shan. Thoughts can be perilous, harboring the potential for rebellion. The boxer, his face turning a shade of green, spoke with a stiff tone. This cannot be compared. Lin Shan chuckled, embarking on his display. Shall we compare who is more handsome? Unmatched. Who is taller? Unmatched. Who is more favored by the fairer sex? Unmatched. Who possesses broader connections? Unmatched. Who has more wealth in their account? Not comparable. By the end of this exchange, the boxer's blood pressure was nearly through the roof, veins bulging on his forehead. His mindset fracturing. Despite having faced countless battles, he had never encountered such a peculiar method of comparison. The most critical point was that, in every aspect, he fell short. There was no need to mention height and looks. Who could forget that even the illustrious star Li Ziao was under his roof? Not to mention the granddaughter of Ren Lao, who lavishly showered gifts in his streaming room. Song Zhuya Shuer. Digaliza, none could rival the beauty of a host whose charm distorted the very fabric of reality. As for connections, perhaps someone in the vast realm of streamers outshone Lin Shan. But it certainly was not the boxer. And when it came to wealth, who would dare assert that a person who could discreetly inject 100 million into Fengyin lacked several billions in their account? With each proclamation of unmatched, the atmosphere in Lin Shan's streaming room grew increasingly jubilant, while the boxer's room swiftly descended into despondency. Lin Shan spread his hands, feigning helplessness. You see, you claim to compare in every aspect, yet you find yourself lacking in all. In comparison to me, your life seems quite a failure. I find it curious. Is it truly so easy to be the king of P? Never mind, given your pitiful state, why don't you suggest how we should compare? Chapter 151, A Network Withdrawal? The entire audience was astounded. Ha ha, I'm laughing so hard I'm in tears. Your life is a complete failure. You're simply seizing the opportunity to flaunt your status as a winner. Lin Shan is incredible. After one round of P, the boxer is questioning his very existence. Forget the boxer, with 30 million viewers, who could possibly rival you in these aspects? A heartless attack. I bow to Lin Shan. How could it be? Lin Shan has outwitted him again. Lin Shan, do you know why I'm using traditional characters? Because you are truly remarkable. Oh, I didn't realize Lin Go had so many merits. I adore him even more now. Lin Go is young, wealthy, and talented. I can't help but be enamored. The boxer's forehead pulsed with tension as he inhaled deeply. What you mentioned is not the conventional way of P. Let us compare who can imitate the other's moves. Whoever fails shall lose. Lin Shan nonchalantly nodded. All right, what is the consequence of losing? A glint of sharpness flickered in the boxer's eyes as he prepared to respond. Suddenly, his backup phone vibrated. He discreetly checked it, and his pupils narrowed. Moments later, he raised his head with a chilling smile, slowly stating, "Whoever loses shall withdraw from the network for 6 months." The mention of withdrawal plunged both streaming rooms into an eerie silence. Then, the chat exploded. What the heck? Withdraw? Isn't that a bit excessive? 6 months out of the network. Even the biggest streamers would lose their popularity. I'm dumbfounded. Is this really just a game? This is not only about losing popularity. It involves breach of contract, as top-tier streamers have requirements for streaming hours. What kind of hatred is this? It's truly a no-holds-barred situation. Was that previous grudge really worth escalating to this level? Haha, I see now. Some people simply cannot tolerate Lin Shan remaining in Fengyin. The withdrawal battle of 2 top-tier streamers? This will surely lead to a major incident in Fengyin. Not only Lin Shan's audience, but even the boxer's fans were taken aback, questioning why he would wager such a significant risk and urging him against it. Meanwhile, in the Fengyin Hall of Fame group chat, where first-line and super first-line streamers congregated, conversations erupted. Hurry to Lin Shan and the boxer's streams. They're engaged in a withdrawal battle. No way. Is this real? It's true. I'm right here in Lin Shan's stream. What is happening? I'm going to check it out. Zhang Qianji, boss, something big is happening. Almost all first-line and super first-line streamers were astonished. Subsequently, those aware of the internal conflicts at Fengyin sensed a chill in the air. The infighting among the higher-ups had escalated to such a degree, they could not believe the boxer had no support behind him. Everyone knew Lin Shan was aligned with Zhang Qianji. This was an attempt to oust Lin Shan from Fengyin and deliver a severe blow to Zhang Qianji. Regardless of who emerged victorious in this P, Fengyin would lose a super first-line streamer. The mastermind behind this wager was evidently becoming increasingly reckless. Numerous streamers flocked to both of their rooms. At that moment, within the upper echelons of Fengyin, directors Huang, Zhao, and me were engaged in a video call while watching Lin Shan and the boxer's streams. In the video frame, Director Mi looked somewhat anxious. Old Huang. Is this too risky? It's tantamount to declaring all-out war on Zhang Qianji. Director Huang smirked coldly. The war commenced the moment he directed the official streaming room to siphon traffic to Lin Shun. Can't you see? Lin Shun cannot be allowed to remain. He has risen to over 30 million in popularity in such a short time. If we let him continue to grow, we won't be able to touch him later. I've already made arrangements with the boxer. Even if he loses and withdraws for 6 months, I'll compensate him 30 million. Director Zhao spoke solemnly. What worries me is that if the boxer loses, Lin Shin will siphon a massive amount of traffic. And even Fan Mao Mao might not be able to contain him. Moreover, Zhang Qianji will surely take action, perhaps even cutting off their streaming connection. Director Huang shook his head with a laugh. Old Zhao, you underestimate Zhang Qianji. He too seeks to take advantage of this opportunity to undermine us. I bet he won't cut off the stream. As for Lin Shin siphoning the boxer's traffic, it's simply a matter of winners and losers. Even if Lin Shin gains the strength to challenge for the title of Fingyin's #1 after this he will remain unrecognized until the annual gala. Who knows what could unfold in this time? We can play with him gradually. Directors Zhao and Mi nodded thoughtfully. Director Mi asked, do you think the boxer has a greater chance of winning? Director Huang replied slowly. Initially, we thought it would be a money-spending contest. So we pooled 2 billion together, but we never anticipated it would come to this. The boxer must have some confidence in this method of comparison. Let us wait and see. Dressed in a cream-colored shirt, Zhang Qianji stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, gazing at the river view, answering a call. Yes, I understand. I'll call you back shortly. After hanging up, his gaze turned icy, his somewhat gaunt face appearing stern. After a moment of silence, he sent Lin Shin a message. Are you confident? 2 seconds later, a hand gesture appeared on his phone screen. The tension in his expression visibly eased. He then dialed Yang Dunhai's number, a smirk playing on his lips. No need to cut the stream. Let them battle. This time, some may find themselves losing more than they bargained for. Seeing Lin Shin silent and unresponsive, the boxer retorted, What's wrong? Are you afraid? Afraid to compete? If you are, that is fine. But from now on, in any setting, whenever you see me, you must address me as Brother Boxer. Do you understand? Lin Shin, upon hearing this, put away his backup phone and looked towards the streaming room. The comments primarily urged him not to engage with such a madman. No one wished to forfeit half a year of watching Lin Shin's live streams due to such unfathomable antics. Yet Lin Shin merely smiled, his gaze steady as he regarded the screen filled with the fierce and mocking expressions of the pugilist. He calmly remarked, Withdraw from the internet for half a year? How dull. If you must withdraw, do it permanently, never to return to live streaming again. Are you willing to wager on that? Upon hearing this, the pugilist's expression stiffened once more, and his facial muscles twitched violently. Taking a deep breath, he contorted his face into a menacing grimace, his eyes reddening as he nearly roared. Are you truly willing to gamble such a hefty wager? With over 40 million witnesses in the 2 live stream rooms. Don't you dare play tricks if you lose. Lin Shin coldly retorted. Who would play tricks? Whoever does so has a dead father and a mother who has remarried. Upon hearing this, the pugilist couldn't help but shudder. Such cruelty. To utter words about a dead father and a mother remarrying. Was this audacious person truly so confident? Looking at Lin Shin's composed demeanor, an unsettling feeling began to creep in. The reason he dared to propose such a mimicry was that it was his forte. He possessed several secret techniques that mere mortals could not replicate. Could Lin Shin be similarly gifted? It was unfathomable. Lin Shin continued, Moreover, I offer you the first move, lest you accuse me of bullying you. Upon hearing these words, the pugilist's eyes sparkled with renewed confidence. Suppressing his unease, he declared loudly, All right, you said it. Whoever loses must withdraw permanently from the internet. Whoever falters is bound to face the consequences. He abruptly stood, exclaiming, I will go first. Chapter 152. The pugilist unleashes a grand move. Challenging the limits of human capability in Lin Shin's livestream, countless viewers were on edge, astonished that he not only accepted such an absurd challenge, but also escalated it to a permanent withdrawal. With matters reaching this point, they could only trust in him. Under the gaze of all viewers in both live streams, the pugilist stepped back 2 meters, fully entering the camera's frame. After performing several warm-up exercises, he sneered, Lin Shin, you shouldn't have let me go first. Do you think I became the top P in Fengyin merely by shouting a couple of times? You are utterly ignorant of my prowess. As he spoke, a miraculous sight unfolded. The pugilist's ears suddenly began to move. The part near the ear tips bent sharply, covering the ear holes. Witnessing this, viewers who had never seen the pugilist's live stream gasped in astonishment. How is this even possible? Are those dog ears? I had no idea human ears could move like this. This is a remarkable skill. This is it. 99.9% of people cannot perform this action. I once watched the pugilist's live stream, and he originally didn't go by this name. It was this unique skill that prompted him to change it. Alas, Lin Shun should never have accepted this challenge. He's bound to lose now. Many other streamers observing from both rooms were equally shocked. This move was indeed extraordinary. AP streamer reaching the pinnacle was evidently no ordinary feat. The trio of Huang Dong, who were connected via video, couldn't help but erupt into laughter. Meanwhile, Lin Shun remained calm, observing the pugilist intently. Sensing the atmosphere, the pugilist smirked. You think this is the end? What I intend to demonstrate is a comprehensive move. And there is more to come. With that, he extended his left hand, ensuring everyone could clearly see his fingers. He first bent his thumb towards his palm, then pressed his pinky onto his thumb's tip. Meanwhile, his index, middle, and ring fingers remained perfectly straight, closely aligned. Observing this motion, countless viewers were taken aback. What was so remarkable about such a simple gesture? Many instinctively attempted to mimic it, only to find their expressions shifting as they realized they could not extend their ring fingers like the pugilist. The comments exploded once more. What the heck? It looks so simple, yet I can't do it. This is bizarre. I can't do it either. I can't do it. The pugilist is truly gifted. Is this innate talent? Is it really that hard? I managed it. As a medical student, I can tell you this is called the autumn water oath. Indeed, it is a gift. It is due to the interconnectedness of the flexor tendons in the fingers. When the pinky presses down on the thumb, it causes the other fingers to bend. Fortunately, the extensor tendons allow the index and middle fingers to remain straight. However, the ring finger lacks an extensor tendon, so only a select few with less sensitive flexor tendons can achieve this. This is truly over. With these two moves combined, there can't be many in the whole of Tang country who can do it. Oh no, Lin Shun, let us forfeit. Maintaining his peculiar poses, the pugilist laughed heartily, his face alight with pride. You think this is the end? I have more tricks up my sleeve. The viewers were taken aback, the pugilist's fans filled with excitement. A grand move was forthcoming. The pugilist bent his body, supporting himself with one hand, striking the standard pose for a one-handed push-up. Then, a spine-chilling action unfolded. With a low growl, the pugilist's biceps bulged, his face flushed, veins standing out. His right arm gradually straightened, while maintaining the push-up position. His feet slowly lifted off the ground, his body parallel to the floor. The comments flooded both live streams. One-arm push-up. What the heck? The pugilist's strength is terrifying. Those commenting are missing the point. It's not just about arm strength. It involves the core muscle groups of the entire body, obliterating 99% of fitness enthusiasts worldwide. Wow. Is the pugilist's explosive power this formidable? Are you joking? The pugilist consumes nutrition meals daily and spends 3 hours in the gym when not live streaming. How can he possibly lose? It's truly over. With these 3 moves combined, there's likely no one else on the internet capable of doing this. Forget the other 2 moves. Lin Shun's physique is so slender that he surely cannot perform a one-handed push-up. Lin Shun, hurry and disconnect. Just say you've run out of bandwidth. Lin Shun's fans were growing anxious. Huang Dong and his companions watched with excitement, laughing heartily, their previously tense minds now at ease. Just then, the pugilist, maintaining his one-arm push-up position, trembled as he struggled to lift his head. His face contorted, veins on his forehead prominent. He looked as if they might burst. In the next moment, his eyes astonishingly turned towards his temples, remaining still. Simultaneously, he extended a long tongue that surprisingly managed to lick his own nose. The viewers were left speechless. Countless spectators were momentarily dumbfounded. What the heck, his eyes? They split apart. I can only manage cross-eyed at most. How did he achieve this eye separation? I've heard of tongues reaching noses, but to have so many skills concentrated in one person is truly unprecedented. This is utterly absurd. How has the pugilist developed like this? He has transcended normal humanity. When the pugilist lifted his head, I nearly burst out laughing. Even my dog was startled. How ruthless. No wonder he is the top P. Who could possibly compare? I was once a fan of the pugilist. I've seen his moves before, but it's my first time witnessing him execute so many tricks simultaneously. Lin Shun is undoubtedly doomed now. Amidst the relentless stream of comments, the atmosphere was electric. In the live broadcast of the Fist Dog, gifts poured in like rain. Maintaining a combination of 5 skills, he persevered for 3 seconds before collapsing to the ground. Completely exhausted, panting, and drenched in sweat. Summoning what little strength he had left, he struggled to rise, his entire right arm a vivid red, trembling uncontrollably. Yet, His expression was one of unbridled excitement as he threw his head back and let out a thunderous roar. Ah! He then charged towards the camera, slamming both palms onto the table with a forceful clap. Fiercely glaring at Lin Shun on the P interface, he bellowed, "Lin Shun, you bastard, die for me." In the Fongyin Celebrity Hall chat group, messages flooded the screen. Outdoor Zhang Ziojium. It's over, it's over. Fist Dog is relentless. Lin Shun definitely can't handle this. Yan Jilan Shinji. Fist Dog is fierce. He's determined to have Lin Shun banned. P. Daluoxian. Fist Dog is impressive. Is it too much to send a couple of carnivals now? Outdoor Huang Long Guild Tianshang. Lin Shun is overconfident. Let's all go light some incense. Game Wolf Yi alas. It's a pity for Lin Shun. I wanted to learn from him how to woo women. Yuan Fengshan. Today is a good day. Retribution is coming. It's not that it won't come, just that the time has not yet arrived. Ha ha. Bagua Xing Su Bagua. Ha ha ha, that's satisfying. I had already predicted that someone like Lin Shun would eventually leave the internet. P. Dian Chengcheng. Hee hee, the ones above are simply opportunists. Don't forget how you were slapped in the face last time. Outdoor Shuer Tuhua. I believe in Lin Shun. Yan Ji Xiao Daimeng. I believe in my brother Lin. Yan Ji Li Qingjiang. I also believe in my brother Lin. After all, he is the man who can kick a jeep into the air. Yan Ji Xiao Mengyo. Bagua Xing Su. Outdoor Yuan Fengshan. You two are the most disgusting streamers I've ever seen. Dance Kindergarten Zayuliai. Some things shouldn't be said too early. Lin Shun can see these chat records, so don't go to his live stream later to apologize with gifts. Outdoor Xian Pao Beige. I just got off the operating table. How did so much happen all of a sudden? Regardless, Lin Shun has given me a new lease on life. I will always stand by Lin Shun. As the chat continued to scroll. When Dao Ge, what's going on? Oh, someone wants to leave the internet. Then it's no big deal. Upon sending this message, the chat group fell into a brief silence. Chapter 153. Not Human. Lin Chin's ultimate counterattack. As a top-tier figure, Wen Dao Ji's comment at this moment clearly carried a sense of schadenfreude. Although he did not specify who was leaving, everyone knew he was referring to Lin Chen. Is he not even trying to hide it? Many streamers supporting Lin Chen felt a surge of frustration but dared not voice their objections. If Lin Chen were to win this round, the next target would undoubtedly be Wen Dao Ge. Zhang Qianji raised his glass and downed the amber liquor in one go, his gaze fixed on his phone screen. He believed in Lin Chen, yet in the current situation, mere belief was insufficient. If Lin Chen lost this match, he would surely be unable to continue streaming on Fongyin. Even if Lin Chen chose to force a live stream, Huang Dong and others would rally Fist Dog, Wen Dao Ge, and the gossip streamers to launch a full-scale assault on Lin Chen, jeopardizing his streaming career, and Zhang Qianji would be powerless to intervene. At that point, if Lin Chen's image crumbled and the public turned against him, the viewership of his live stream would undoubtedly plummet, possibly even rendering normal broadcasting impossible. Conversely, the same fate awaited Fist Dog should he lose. The only thing he could do now was continue to believe in Lin Chen and await the final outcome. As Fist Dog unleashed his skills and began to shout, numerous top streamers emerged in his live stream, sending carnivals. Among them were many who had previously apologized with gifts in Lin Chen's live stream due to the rumors spread by Zhang Nantian, demonstrating their fickle loyalty. Lin Chen observed the P interface, gazing at Fist Dog's nearly frenzied roar, his expression remaining calm. He glanced at the barrage of comments in the live stream, which were steeped in despondency. Many were lamenting that the stakes of this wager were too outrageous to take seriously, or accusing Fist Dog of cheating, asserting that they had agreed on a single move but were now facing a flurry of combination punches. He smiled slightly and spoke, "Is this all you've got?" At these words, the comment sections of both live streams fell silent. Fist Dog, with his fierce and contorted expression, suddenly froze. Lin Chen looked calmly at Fist Dog and said, "Show me what else you've got. Otherwise, you will never have the opportunity to perform through live streaming again." The muscles in Fist Dog's face twitched violently, and then he revealed a knowing smile, sneering, "You want to buy time? Finish this set of moves first." Lin Chen gently shook his head. "I gave you your chance." With that, he stood up. The room was spacious enough, and without any preparatory movements. Lin Chen placed both hands on the ground and assumed a push-up position. In the next moment, he lifted his left hand while his toes left the ground, supporting himself with one arm in an elegant one-arm push-up. Unlike Fist Dog's flushed face and grim expression, Lin Chen executed this move effortlessly, his demeanor serene and his breath steady. The audience gasped in astonishment. In terms of execution, the two were clearly not on the same level. Fist Dog appeared to have expended every ounce of his strength to achieve his move, while Lin Chen seemed to perform it with ease, as if it were child's play. Subsequently, The comment sections of both live streams erupted in chaos. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lin Shun, a true god. This is absurd. Lin Shun looks so slender. How can he possess such incredible strength? Are you kidding? Lin Shun is a mythical figure, capable of turning alloy business cards into balls. A one-arm push-up is nothing to him. Indeed, I always believed Lin Shun could manage a one-arm push-up. The challenge lies in the other moves, which are purely based on talent. I really want to see Brother Lin shirtless. He must look so manly. Those watching the live stream, including Huang Dong and others, could no longer muster a smile. Yet, they consoled themselves that it wasn't over yet. One-arm push-ups could be achieved through hard training. Many ordinary people could do it. The other moves, however, were a different story. They did not believe Lin Shun could master as many rare skills as Fist Dog. In the Phonian Celebrity Hall chat group, the previously bustling messages suddenly slowed down. Many streamers who had mocked Lin Shun earlier now hesitated to speak. Many felt a twinge of regret for having sent gifts in Fist Dog's live stream, cursing internally and hoping Lin Shun would fail at the other maneuvers. A faint smile appeared on Zhang Qianji's face as he picked up the bottle and slowly poured himself another glass. In the midst of the tense atmosphere, Lin Shun extended his left hand towards the camera, effortlessly executing the gesture of the autumn water oath. Then, everyone watched as he suddenly bent his ear, blocking his ear canal. Following this, Lin Shun raised his head, his eyes darting in opposite directions, and his tongue even reached the tip of his nose. 2 seconds later, he exerted force with his right hand, propelling himself into the air, landing lightly on his feet, face unflushed and breath unlabored. For him, who had unlocked absolute control, performing these actions was akin to play. Dusting off his hands, Lin Shun remarked, "I told you to show me more moves. Fist Dog, I gave you your chance. But you were simply inadequate." On the P interface, Fist Dog was left dumbfounded, his face paling instantly. His body trembled slightly due to unease and fear. For years, he had dominated in live streaming, wielding his killer moves with unmatched prowess, yet he had never encountered a peer like Lin Shun. To his astonishment, his first encounter was within a relentless online battle. The live chat erupted with excitement. Lin Shun's streaming room transformed into a joyous sea, with messages such as "Lin God is incredible," and "Did he really accomplish that?" scrolling endlessly. Gifts poured in frantically. In stark contrast, the atmosphere in the Punch Dog's streaming room plummeted, shrouded in despair. Messages like, "It's over," and "This guy must be cheating," filled the chat. The hosts who had mocked Lin Shun in the chat, especially those who had previously sent gifts to Punch Dog, were now utterly dumbfounded, their minds racing in panic. How could this be possible? Aside from childbirth, was there anything Lin Shun couldn't do? Lin Shun's supporters, including Chung Chung and Xiao Dai, were jubilant in the chat. Meanwhile, Huang and others fell into complete silence. Were it not for their understanding that Punch Dog and Lin Shun could not have colluded, they might have suspected they were witnessing a meticulously orchestrated performance. In the video frame, Mi Dong frowned, voicing his concerns. "Huang Dong, could Punch Dog actually lose?" Huang Dong's eyes twitched, coldly replying, "This is just the beginning. Lin Shun's feats are not beyond Punch Dog's capabilities. Let us watch closely." Inside the guest house, Lin Shun observed the horrified Punch Dog and calmly said, "Now it's your turn to imitate me." He promptly lay down and executed an exceptionally standard one-arm handstand. Amidst the confusion of countless viewers, Lin Shun spread his 5 fingers on the ground and, with a surge of strength, lifted his suspended body a few centimeters higher. The audience finally realized that Lin Shun was supporting his entire weight with just 5 fingers. The chat descended into stunned silence. Before anyone could react, Lin Shun suddenly retracted his pinky and then his ring finger. With only his thumb, index, and middle fingers, he effortlessly supported his entire weight, transforming the one-arm 5-finger handstand into a one-arm 3-finger handstand. He then proceeded to perform push-ups in this position unhurriedly. 1, 2, 3. Countless viewers watched in disbelief as Lin Shun executed push-ups using only 3 fingers. Their scalps tingled and goosebumps covered their bodies. Particularly among fitness enthusiasts, excitement soared. "Oh my God, Lin God, forever a legend. If I weren't watching this live, I would definitely suspect it was special effects. Lin Shun is incredible. This feat alone could shake the entire fitness community. I dare say, there are probably no more than 5 people on Earth capable of this." 5. If 3 can do it, I'd be surprised. Even greats can't manage one-arm 3-finger push-ups. I've never heard of anyone pulling it off. I saw a documentary about Feng Xiaolong, and I know he can do this. Punch Dog is finished, even if he burns out. He can't perform this move. Everyone, step aside. I need to go pay my respects to Punch Dog. As a former fan of Punch Dog, my feelings are quite complex. Perhaps I should send him a wreath to thank him for his contributions. Numerous self-media bloggers and reporters lurking in Lin Chen's streaming room trembled with excitement, already recording and editing the footage. Indeed, the wait was worthwhile. Lin Chen's streaming room was a veritable treasure trove of traffic. No one knew when he would unveil yet another surprise. Just the clash between him and Punch Dog, coupled with the one-arm, three-finger handstand, was enough to inspire numerous sensational articles. In Punch Dog's streaming room, countless viewers were left dumbfounded, their minds fixated on a singular thought. Punch Dog was done for. Many began to defect, offering symbolic wreaths in the form of Ferris wheels, while others flooded the chat with 3-3, lighting candles in farewell for Punch Dog. Those who had previously mocked and derided Lin Chen now felt a chill of despair. Punch Dog's fate had become irrelevant. They were solely concerned about their squandered investments in the carnival and whether Lin Chen would seek retribution afterward. In the video call, Huang Dong, Mi Dong, and Zhao Dong watched Lin Chen perform otherworldly feats in silence. Zhang Qian let out a hearty laugh, downing his second glass of liquor. The spicy liquid coursed down his throat, igniting a fire in his stomach. Just 2 words, exhilarating. After completing 10 one-arm, three-finger push-ups, Lin Chen finally paused. Rising without a hint of fatigue, feigning a breathless demeanor, his face slightly flushed. Otherwise, it would have been too peculiar. He turned to the now dazed Punch Dog and said, "It's your turn." Upon hearing those 3 words, Punch Dog felt as if he had received a death sentence. His body shuddered. Regaining his composure, he swallowed hard, a grimace on his face that was more painful than tears, stammering, "Lin, brother Lin, can we negotiate? I'll give you 1,000 carnivals. Let us call this bet off." At this, both streaming rooms erupted. Wow, 1,000 carnivals? That's over 3 million. Punch Dog is really going all out, trying to buy his life. No kidding, 3 million isn't too much for Punch Dog. He rakes in over 100,000 a month after costs. This is hilarious. He was so arrogant before, and now he is begging for mercy. Lin Chen, don't listen to him. People like this are trouble. If you let him off this time, he'll bite you next time. Truly, Punch Dog is a man of substance, able to bend and stretch. Punch Dog? Just a cowardly eunuch. He might bend, but as a eunuch, he can't stretch. After all, he is a eunuch. Wow, the comment above is brilliant. You've got me all twisted up. Lin Chen merely watched Punch Dog on the screen. Reiterating, "It's your turn." Punch Dog's complexion drained of color. He clenched his teeth and raised the stakes. 2,000 carnivals, 3,000. At most 4,000. Lin Chen frowned, stating, "It's your turn." Punch Dog found himself rendered speechless, suddenly realizing that with Lin Chen's wealth, he likely wouldn't even value these few thousand carnivals. A wave of regret washed over him, and simultaneously, he directed his ire towards Huang Dong and the others. However, he dared not shift the blame onto them in the streaming room. He was convinced that even if he lost the bet, Huang Dong and the others would not easily relinquish their cash cow. At this point, he had no choice but to gamble everything. Gritting his teeth, Punch Dog grabbed a can of energy drink, downing it in one go. He stepped back a few paces, took a deep breath, and positioned himself for a one-arm push-up. With a fierce roar, he attempted the one-arm handstand. He held for 2 seconds, his face contorted in agony, all his strength concentrated in his right hand. Suddenly, his palm left the ground as he retracted 2 fingers. Crack! The sickening sound of bone breaking echoed, alongside Punch Dog's anguished scream. He collapsed to the ground, clutching his 3 broken fingers and wailing, sweat pouring down his face. In the next moment, his live stream abruptly cut off, displaying a warning about dangerous actions currently occurring in the broadcast, leading to a 72-hour closure of the live stream. The interface subsequently disconnected. Unfazed by the plight of the boxing dog, Lin Chen calmly remarked, "It seems he can no longer perform that move. According to our previous agreement, he must exit the live stream permanently. Of course, if he wishes to change his mind, that is beyond my control. Let us not incite any further chaos in his live stream. A stray dog is best left to its own devices." Despite his words, not all fans in the live stream adhered to Lin Chen's sentiments. After all, they had finally found an opportunity for battle, and many eager fans were poised to rush in once the boxing dog resumed his broadcast. Upon achieving a resounding victory, affluent viewers like Li Xiao, Yi Xiaoxi, and Brother Yuanhang generously showered gifts, creating a continuous carnival atmosphere. A significant number of the boxing dog's fans swiftly deleted their follower badges and flooded into Lin Chen's livestream, causing his popularity to surge yet again. In truth, Lin Chen had no intention of letting the boxing dog and his backers off the hook. From Duan Yu to the boxing dog, those behind the scenes were determined to sever his path in the live streaming realm. What was there to be polite about? He retrieved his phone and messaged Zhang Qianji. Zhang. Who exactly are the individuals behind Duan Yu and the boxing dog who are intent on suppressing me? Moments later, Zhang Qianji sent 3 photographs along with the names Huang Daiping, Mi Wei, and Zhao Herong. Lin Shen now had a clearer understanding. Suddenly noticing that the chat group displayed 99 unread messages, he furrowed his brow and clicked in, starting from the most recent conversations. As he read through the erratic messages from several streamers, he couldn't help but chuckle. The live streaming circle truly resembled a microcosm of society, starkly realistic. The previous incident with Jean Nantian had yet to be addressed, and now they were at it again? Upon seeing a message from Wendeoj, Lin Shen's gaze turned icy. Wasn't it more appealing to focus on selling your goods rather than trying to stir up trouble? Clearly, someone needed to be dealt with. He noted the IDs of these streamers in his notebook and addressed the audience in the live stream. Dear viewers, allow me to present something extraordinary that most would never get to see. Chapter 155, Breaking News. The wind sound shakes in the live stream. The bullet comments erupted with excitement. What is this? So mysterious? Holy cow, is Lin Shen about to give away something? I get it, hold on. Let me grab a tissue. I've turned off the lights. What about you guys? Is the late night show starting? So thrilling, so nerve-wracking. Goodness. I feel like Lin Shen is up to something again. I want to see Lin Gu's abs picture. Amidst the chaotic barrage of comments, Lin Shen picked up a spare phone and displayed the interface of the Wind Sound Hall of Fame to the camera. Instantly, the chat logs were exposed to all the viewers in the live stream. The timestamps of the chat records began from the reversal of the Jean Nantian rumor incident. Pita Luocian. Lin Shen is indeed impressive. After Jean Nantian released his video, I genuinely thought he was going to be banned. I almost followed the boxing dog to his live stream to send him a wreath, but I didn't expect such a swift reversal. Game Abyss Lord. This reversal clearly shows it was premeditated. Lin Shen might have colluded with Li Xiao all along, just waiting for this opportunity. Outdoor Zhang Xiaojian. Lin Shen is indeed shrewd, holding on to such solid evidence for 2 years until now when his popularity has exploded, and then using it to crush Jean Nantian. I must admit, I pale in comparison. Outdoor Huanglong Guild Tianxing. I need to steer clear of such people in the future. Too cunning, too frightening. Lin Shen slid his finger to scroll down the chat records. In an instant, the bullet comments went wild. Holy cow! Is Lin Shen dropping a nuclear bomb? Wind Sound Hall of Fame? I've heard some streamers mention this group. It's filled with first and super first tier streamers. These people are utterly shameless. I used to enjoy watching Abyss Lord play games, but I didn't realize he was like this. Zhang Xiaojian and Huanglong Guild Tianxing are truly disgusting. If I'm not mistaken, after the Duan Yu incident, they came to Lin Shen's stream to send gifts, claiming they would support him for the annual event. But it turns out they are so two-faced. At least some are speaking fairly, like Lu Xiaozhuang, Dian Chengqing, and Xiao Daiming. They're quite decent. Now everyone can see clearly who is a friend and who is an enemy. Let us keep our eyes peeled from now on. Lin Shen is incredibly bold. Exposing chat records like this leaves no room for retreat. Which house is that? Lin Shen suddenly dropping chat records must have some other reason. Don't jump to conclusions too early. As the comments surged, Lin Shen had already reached the messages from the Star Constellation Gossip. Star Constellation Gossip. Have you all noticed that Lin Shen is a disaster? Anyone associated with him is bound to face misfortune. I want to mention Yuan Fengshen and Ba Ge, but even the Zhan father and son couldn't escape a calamity. I've seen his facial features. They are truly alarming. He is born to steal luck, most likely a celestial loner. The comments exploded with outrage. I can't believe you Star Constellation Gossip. Is this something a person can say? So disgusting. This is what the #1 gossip looks like. Truly repulsive. I used to check out his streams, but I'll never go back again. Soon after, Lin Shen, not having changed his nickname, sent a message in the chat, prompting Star Constellation Gossip to request a repeat. Many viewers couldn't help but laugh upon seeing this. After Lin Shen changed his nickname and reposted, it triggered explosive reactions in the chat group, especially when they saw his reply to Star Constellation Gossip. No worries, I generally don't hold grudges. Those I remember either end up in the hospital or in jail. This made countless viewers burst into laughter while further clarifying the true nature of these streamers. How ugly. Wow. I now understand why Star Constellation Gossip and others suddenly rushed to Lin Shen's livestream to send gifts congratulating him on signing with the super first tier. It turns out they were here to apologize. How truly realistic. I was genuinely touched at the time, thinking Lin Shen finally received recognition. But the truth is this. Sigh. I've deleted Abyss Lord's badge. It's pointless. Deleted Zhang Xiaojian's badge. I used to think he was quite honest. But I'm so disappointed. I need to give Duan Gu a badge. This guy was indeed annoying at first, but now, in comparison to some other streamers, he is much better. At this moment, in the Wind Sound Hall of Fame chat group, the chat records were rapidly refreshing. Supporters of Lin Chun, such as Dian Chengcheng and Duan Yu, along with streamers who had previously been silent, were all flooding the chat with Lin Gu 666. Lin Gu is so domineering. Lin Gu is awesome. They were thoroughly convinced. Typically, when streamers have grievances, they resolve them privately or through mediation by the higher-ups at Wind Sound. After all, everyone is there to make money, and with a word from the higher-ups, even the greatest conflicts must be suppressed. No one has ever dared to expose chat records like this since the inception of Wind Sound. Lin Chun was the first, his character far too unyielding. Following this maneuver, around one-third of the first-tier streamers in the group were likely to despise Lin Chun vehemently. However, Lin Chun now possessed the capability and justification to act in such a manner. Zhang Xiaojiam, Abyss Lord, and Star Constellation Gossip had already jumped ship once. Repeating this behavior and seizing the opportunity to mock Lin Chun in the group was a grave mistake. Did they truly believe he would remain unperturbed? Here it was. However, this is Lin Chun. Were it anyone else, they would likely have been expelled from the group by Zhang Qianji by now, perhaps even having their livestream abruptly cut off, ensuring they would not continue to gain exposure. In contrast, those such as the Abyss Lord, Zhang Xiaojiao, and the Outdoor Star Su, who had been exposed, were filled with shock, anger, and fear, their hearts plummeting to the depths. He has gone mad. Absolutely mad. Some streamers, while live, were glancing at Lin Chen's livestream. Upon witnessing a throng of viewers bearing Lin Chen's fan badges flooding into the room to voice their questions, they promptly ended their streams. Meanwhile, Director Huang was on the phone with Zhang Qianji, his voice seething with rage. What does Lin Chen intend to do? Is he out to ruin the livelihoods of other streamers? Who will bear this loss? He is nothing but a rabid dog, a scourge. Zhang Qianji took a sip of his drink, feeling slightly tipsy after several glasses. He calmly replied, "Our Fengyin brand is positioned towards youth, fashion, and trendiness. Compared to short videos, many of our live streamers are simply not up to par. Everyone must be accountable for their actions. Some streamers are indiscreet, engaging in vulgarity, scripting, and duplicity, akin to slow-witted streamers, and they have long needed a wake-up call. This time, we can use Lin Chen's hand to purify Fengyin's live streaming environment and elevate the standards of our streamers. Not everyone is worthy of being a top-tier streamer at Fengyin. Viewership will always exist. There is no shortage of excellent streamers across all fields. When some go down, others will rise. What significant loss could there truly be? Even if we do incur some loss, I believe that with Lin Chen's capabilities, the traffic he brings in from other platforms will far exceed this. Director Huang, if you have further objections, perhaps we should convene another board meeting. I happen to have some ideas I wish to present there." On the other end of the line, Director Huang's face flushed with anger as he gritted his teeth. "Zhang Qianji, you can indulge him all you want, but mark my words. This rabid dog will eventually turn on you." With that, he angrily ended the call. Zhang Qianji finished his drink, merely smiling coldly. He was well aware that most of the streamers who were jumping around in the group were on Director Huang's side. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so furious. In the homestay room, after showcasing the chat records related to the Jean Nantian incident, Lin Chen swiftly bypassed the lengthy chat that followed and flipped to the timestamp when he had arranged the online withdrawal with Quan Go. He once again exposed the ugly faces of the likes of Su, Abyss Lord, and Zhang Xiaojiao to all the viewers. The barrage of comments erupted once more. It became clear why Lin Chun was willing to offend so many, risking their ire to reveal the chat records. This truly was an outrageous act. Once was not enough. They had to come back for a second time? Even Yuan Fengshen, lying in a hospital bed, had to jump in? And what did Dao Ge mean by that? If they were in Lin Chen's shoes, they would not be able to endure either. After displaying the pertinent chat records, Lin Chen put away his backup phone and declared, "I shan't say more. I trust everyone is already aware. Here, I will state one thing. From now on, any viewer with my fan badge should refrain from entering the live streams of these individuals. Do not engage in attacks or insults. It serves no purpose. Ignore them and let them cool off on their own." Upon hearing this, the barrage responded in droves, expressing their intent to never watch these streamers again. Meanwhile, the Abyss Lord, Tianqing Outdoor, and others, observing from the sidelines, felt their hearts grow cold despite the livestream still being active. They were filled with regret and animosity towards Lin Chen. However, what transpired next ignited an urge to spit blood. Chapter 156, Seizing the Opportunity While You Are Ill. Targeted by Lin Chun. Lin Chun continued, "Battling P is quite exhausting. So let us relax and investigate the competition, starting with the rival streamer of the Abyss Lord. I am not very familiar with the gaming segment. Who is the Abyss Lord's biggest competitor? Everyone, please type their name in the comments. Upon this proclamation, the livestream comments erupted in excitement. Linshin 666. Is this to draw traffic to the Abyss Lord's competitor? Ha ha ha, too ruthless. I love Lin Chen's vengeful spirit that doesn't wait for the night to fall. Is this what they call seizing the opportunity while you are ill? Lin Chen seems intent on directly bringing down the Abyss Lord and others. Abyss Lord, with so many jumping streamers, why am I the first? The viewers were thoroughly entertained. Lin Chen was clearly aiming to give these constantly flipping streamers a taste of their own medicine. With his current popularity, merely checking on any rival would shower them with immense traffic and attention. At least over 30 million viewers in the live stream would now be aware of this particular individual. As long as the checked streamer had something to offer, attracting a wave of followers would be no issue. And they might indeed manage to overshadow the Abyss Lord and others. The Abyss Lord, who was covertly observing, felt his eyes burn with anger. This is truly a ruthless extermination. He had already sensed danger and ended his stream. Yet he could still see a large group of fans in the comments questioning and cursing him, unfollowing, and removing their fan badges. After Lin Chen's antics, he might truly fall from a first-tier streamer to a second-tier one. Yet, he had no means to counter Lin Chen. Lin Chen glanced at the barrage, taking note of the streamer name that was mentioned the most, Ida Go. This streamer was not in the Hall of Fame group, indicating he was not a top-tier streamer. Lin Chen was unconcerned and immediately chose to connect with this gaming streamer. On the screen, a youthful face, somewhat simple-minded, soon appeared. Ida Go appeared quite excited, yet somewhat nervous. Hello, Lin Chen. I am your fan. Lin Chen was taken aback, then smiled. No need to be nervous. Let us just chat. I remember you. When I was playing P with Duan Yu, you sent me 2 phony #1 gifts. I didn't expect you to be a streamer too. Hearing this, Ida Gu relaxed a great deal, revealing a look of admiration. Lin Chen, you are truly remarkable. Amidst so many gift givers, you still remembered me. Lin Chen's expression turned serious. I remember every fan who has gifted me. The audience in the live stream burst into laughter. Did everyone catch that? If you want Lin Chen to remember you, you must give him a gift. Got it. I'll send a little pair of glasses later. That's quite the reality. Lin Chen urges everyone to consume rationally and not send gifts. Yet remembers every single gifting ID. I'm utterly confused now. Should I send or not? Ida Gu completely relaxed, smiling subtly. I am truly your fan. Having followed you since your descent from Shaoxiang, and I've even watched the replays of the content I missed in my own streams. To be honest, after watching your live streams, I have considered transitioning to outdoor streaming myself. Lin Chen feigned anxiety. No, I wouldn't want another competitor. You should first take down the Abyss Lord, who has an ugly and duplicitous heart. The barrage erupted in laughter once more. Done. From now on, the Abyss Lord shall be synonymous with a duplicitous heart. Abyss Lord, are you not polite? Ha ha, I think Lin Chen is spot on. Lin Chen is truly merciless, seizing every opportunity to step on the Abyss Lord. All the streamers secretly observing should understand now. Keep your eyes peeled. Lin Chen's cunning is sharper than a needle's eye. The Abyss Lord. Watching the live stream, he trembled with rage, cursing furiously at Lin Chen displayed on the screen. Yet alas, no one could hear him but himself. After speaking, Lin Chen took out his backup phone and entered Ida G's live stream with a secondary account, sending 4 phony #1 gifts. Ida Gu appeared astonished and quickly expressed his gratitude. Lin Chen, during the brief exchange with his guest, witnessed his live stream's popularity surge from over 400,000 to more than 3 million viewers. Many generous souls showered him with gifts and fan badges. An immense kindness that left him at a loss for how to reciprocate. To his surprise, Lin Chen himself gifted something in return. With a smile, he said, Do not feel shy. That is simply my nature. Whoever treats me well, I shall repay them doubly, and those who do me wrong, I shall return the favor 100-fold. But enough about that. Do you possess any talents? If so, do share them with my audience. Brother Yida pondered for a moment and replied, How about I perform invisible wings for everyone? The moment he uttered those words, not only did Lin Chen freeze in astonishment, but the live chat exploded with excitement. Invisible Wings is inherently a female song, and with the illustrious presence of Schwerer preceding him, Brother Yida's attempt to draw in fans through this piece seemed rather ambitious. Nonetheless, he said nothing further, stood up, and fetched an old guitar. After tuning it, he began to sing. As his voice soared, it captivated the attention of over 30 million viewers across both live streams. Even his own fans had never heard him sing like this before. On screen, the seemingly simple, somewhat clumsy figure of a stout man produced an ethereal, feminine voice. Countless comments flooded in, expressing disbelief and awe. Professional vocalists in the chat noted that his falsetto was remarkably smooth and natural, nearly devoid of any traces of artifice. In the entire Tang Kingdom, few could achieve such a level of falsetto, a feat not merely attained through effort, but requiring exceptional innate vocal qualities. Brother Yida's rendition of Invisible Wings offered a distinct flavor compared to Schwer's interpretation. While lacking some of the intricate nuances present in Schwer's performance, it remained exceptionally melodious. Coupled with his appearance and identity as a gaming streamer, the striking contrast resulted in an explosive influx of new fans. In the span of a single song, his follower count swelled by nearly 5 million. In terms of fan badges, he surpassed the current Abyss Lord by nearly 500,000. Simply from the badges, which cost a mere dime each, he accumulated 500,000 in gifts, not to mention the many who generously bestowed various other gifts upon him. This was indeed a tremendous profit. Upon concluding his song, Lin Chen generously praised him. "You sang splendidly. I had no idea you possessed such talent. You could easily become a music streamer." Brother Yida, his cheeks flushed with bashfulness, admitted, "I discovered I could sing like this since childhood. But my classmates mocked me for sounding like a girl, so I never sang in front of others again, only indulging privately." Lin Chen shook his head. "This is actually a rather unique singing technique. I believe you should seek out a specialized vocal coach to refine this skill further. It will undoubtedly benefit your streaming career." Brother Yida expressed his heartfelt gratitude. Lin Chen encouraged him, saying keep it up, and concluded the collaboration. He then addressed the audience. "In truth, there are many talented streamers in Phonyin awaiting discovery, am I right?" Immediately, the chat erupted with affirmations such as "absolutely" and "Mr. Lin speaks the truth." Soon after, requests for the next victim began to flood in. Lin Chen promptly remarked, "Let us not bother with Yuan Fengshan, Zhang Xiaojiu, or the Emperor Dragon Guild's outdoor team. In the realm of outdoor streaming, with Duan Gu and me around, they are merely mediocre. Remember, do not pay them any mind. Let them fade away on their own." His words resonated throughout the chat, branding Yuan Fengshan and others with the label of mediocrity. Observers like Yuan Fengshan felt both angered and helpless. At that moment, Brother Yida entered the chat and generously gifted 50 carnival tokens as a token of gratitude. For the next 2 hours, Lin Chen selected rival streamers who had never spoken ill of him, engaging in collaborations with them. Inspired by Brother Yida's success, the streamers showcased their talents, and although not everyone achieved a dramatic turnaround like Brother Yida, many experienced remarkable growth in followers and received bountiful rewards. Each expressed their gratitude. And after the collaborations, they all returned to Lin Chen's stream to shower him with various carnival tokens. Later, Lin Chen connected with his group chat companions like Cheng Cheng, Xiao Dai, and Li Qingjiang. These ladies, capable of becoming top-tier streamers, were no ordinary individuals, each possessing unique traits and skills. Some exuded cuteness while others displayed a commanding presence. Some had warm, soothing voices while others captivated with lively dance. The chorus of Brother Lin and Good Brother resonated, enchanting the audience. Lin Chen found himself somewhat overwhelmed by their charm, and the viewers were equally entertained. As the stream drew to a close, many began to request Sister Ifei. As the sole female streamer among Phonyin's Elite Six, Sister Ifei rarely participated in the drama or took sides with any particular streamer. Up until now, she had only interacted with Lin Chen twice. Once when he was signed to the Elite tier, she gifted him during a live stream, and later, when she rallied her fans to vote in Lin Chen's favor during a bet with Wang Chun. Hence, among the Elite Six, Lin Chen's fans held the most favorable impression of Sister Ifei. Lin Chen, somewhat resigned, remarked, "Sister Ifei is already an elite streamer herself. Anyone who watches live streams in Phonyin surely has encountered her. Those who like her have long since become fans, so I need not draw her audience. Besides, everyone knows I have my own issues. A hasty collaboration might even attract negativity towards her. Thus, I shall refrain from connecting with her, and instead, after my stream, I will send her some gifts." Upon hearing this, the vast majority of the audience expressed their understanding. As the clock struck 1 in the morning, Lin Chen continued, "It's about time. Let's wrap up for tonight. I need a good night's sleep, and in the morning, I will take you all to see Blackstone City." Many viewers, still eager for more, were left wanting. Just as Lin Chen was preparing to conclude the stream, a sudden cacophony of barking erupted, startling everyone in the room. Lin Chen's expression shifted as he rose and approached the window to peer outside. It was evident that the barking came from the mastiffs raised by Bong. During dinner, Bong had mentioned keeping 2 mastiffs to guard against intruders, kept at a distance from guests to avoid scaring them. Lin Shen's vantage point aligned perfectly with the direction of the pens. With his keen eyesight, he could clearly see the two large mastiffs barking furiously at something in the distance. Following their gaze, he discerned several pairs of green, glowing eyes lurking in the darkness, moving swiftly and silently towards the pens. Wolves. Lin Shen's gaze sharpened. He had heard tales of wolves invading highland villages during food shortages to prey on calves or lambs. Little did he expect to encounter such a scenario today. The anxious barking of the mastiffs clearly alerted Basang's family. He could hear the sound of doors opening downstairs. Lin Shen turned to the audience. Dear viewers, we shall conclude the stream here for today. We will reconvene at dawn. With that, he disregarded the chat's comments and instructed Xiao Ji to end the live stream. However, mere seconds before the stream cut off, a series of wolf howls mingled with the frantic cries of yaks erupted, abruptly filling the stream. The chat exploded with reactions. Oh my goodness, was that a wolf howling? It has to be a wolf. What on earth? Did a wolf pack just invade the village? I have goosebumps. Originally, did the mastiffs only howl upon sighting wolves? Suddenly, a significant event unfolded, and Lin Shen chose to cease the broadcast. Countless viewers fervently petitioned for him to resume the stream, questioning if he was indeed capable of live streaming. The abrupt cessation of such content was baffling to many. Viewers were urged to understand that not everything could be aired live. A wolf pack invading a village was no trivial matter. Should the broadcast capture graphic scenes of wolves attacking humans, the stream could be abruptly terminated. People began to speculate whether Lin Shen would intervene or confront the wolves. It was hard to imagine he would act so recklessly. Wolves are protected animals. If Lin Shen were to harm one, would he face legal consequences? Meanwhile, the unexpected situation had roused the audience from their slumber. Many were urging Yuan Hang to start the live stream. Lin Shen had already exited his room. Noticing the doors of other rooms had also opened, Yuan Hang emerged, and several tourists were gathered in the corridor, their expressions filled with alarm. Yuan Hang stammered, Lin, was that a wolf howling just now? Lin Shen glanced at the group and replied, yes, it was a wolf. Stay in your rooms and don't go outside. I will check it out. He made his way downstairs to the lobby, where he spotted Bong wearing a headlamp and wielding a sharp Tibetan knife. Tsering's mother donned a vest made of dried cowhide and held a long fork, while Tsering looked visibly worried. Upon seeing Lin Shen, Bong was momentarily taken aback and said in a grave tone, Lin Shen, a wolf has entered the village. You all must stay in your rooms. Lin Shen shook his head and approached, Uncle Bong, do you have another knife? You know my abilities. Having another person would be beneficial. Rest assured, I will protect myself. After a brief hesitation, Bong turned back and retrieved a long Tibetan knife from behind the counter, handing it to Lin Shen. He patted Lin Shen on the shoulder before quickly exiting with his wife. Lin Shen looked at the knife in his hand, a peculiar expression crossing his face. Was it really acceptable to have a knife just lying around in the counter? As Lin Shen prepared to follow them out, Tsering could no longer contain herself, exclaiming, Lin Shen, be careful. If there's danger, hide behind Dad. Bong stumbled slightly, feeling the cold draft seeping through his cotton jacket. At that moment, several tourists, including Yuan Hang, had gathered at the foot of the stairs, torn between amusement and fear. Yuan Hang held his phone, displaying Lin Shen's live stream, with comments scrolling rapidly. Gritting his teeth, he sent a message, everyone, come to my live stream. He grabbed a steel fork from the corner and, ignoring Tsering's anxious calls, dashed outside. Some other tourists considered joining but ultimately refrained, unwilling to gamble with their lives. With the surge of tourism in the Sichuan region, news of solo travelers being attacked by wolves emerged almost annually. They did not wish to become the next headline due to excessive curiosity. Once outside, Bong and his wife hurried towards the livestock shelter. Lin Shen followed closely, hearing heavy breathing and footsteps behind him. Noticing it was Yuan Hang, he frowned. Didn't I tell you to stay back? Then he realized Yuan Hang was filming. His frown deepened. Are you live streaming? Yuan Hang, looking embarrassed, quickly explained. The viewers are worried about you and fear for your safety. Don't worry, I'll keep my distance. As Lin Shen heard the sounds of wolves clashing with mastiffs and the anguished cries of yaks, he discerned that Basang's family was not the only one under attack. Without further urging Yuan Hang to retreat, he swiftly approached him, discreetly slipping his handgun into Yuan Hang's hand. Wolves are highly organized animals. There may be others lurking in the shadows. Be cautious, and return immediately if you encounter danger. Feeling the weight and chill of the weapon, Yuan Hang gasped and nodded earnestly. Lin Shen said nothing more, taking a deep breath as he transformed into a shadow against the night. In the blink of an eye, he was several meters away. He soon reached the shelter, focusing on a gaunt gray wolf that was half suspended over the top of the fence. He let out a low growl to capture the wolf's attention. As their gazes locked, he activated his animal taming skills. The fierce glint in the wolf's eyes vanished, and it leaped down from the fence, tail tucked, fleeing into the distance. Lin Chen sprang onto the fence, effortlessly vaulting over the nearly 2-meter-tall wooden barrier to land on the ground. At that moment, Bong and his wife had just arrived at the main entrance of the shelter. Still fumbling with the lock, Lin Chen zeroed in on a gray wolf engaged in a struggle with a mastiff. With a powerful kick, he sent the gray wolf yelping out of the enclosure. It narrowly avoided being trampled by a frantic yak. Leaping onto the back of a yak, he quickly assessed the situation. 4 gray wolves had already entered the yard. One was grappling with another mastiff, while 2 others were intimidating fully grown yaks. The last wolf had seized the opportunity to latch onto the neck of a young yak, blood gushing forth. Seeing this, Lin Chen disregarded using his taming skills, drawing his Tibetan knife and hurling it. The blade, sharp as a razor, sliced through the gray wolf's neck, embedding itself in the ground, and the wolf collapsed, lifeless. Using the yak's back as a springboard, he executed several quick leaps, landing beside the gray wolf battling the mastiff, delivering another powerful kick. Upon impact, the gray wolf released the mastiff and lunged at Lin Chen's ankle. With a cold glare, Lin Chen activated his taming skills again. The wolf froze in motion, just like its predecessor, and was kicked out of the enclosure. Lin Chen bent down to retrieve his knife. The remaining 2 gray wolves appeared to be intimidated. As they met Lin Chen's gaze, they trembled and leaped onto the fence, fleeing. At this moment, Bong and his wife entered the yard, witnessing the 2 wolves escaping over the fence. Their eyes widened in astonishment as they turned to Lin Chen, who was crouched beside the wounded young yak. Their surprise deepened. How had he, who had been behind them moments ago, suddenly advanced into the yard? Moreover, in just a few seconds, he had managed to handle so many wolves alone. They refrained from pursuing the fleeing wolves, instead soothing the frightened yaks while approaching Lin Chen. Basang's wife knelt to examine the young yak's injuries, sighing in relief. It's still salvageable. She promptly retrieved medical supplies from the shelter to tend to the young yak. Bong interjected, "Let us save the wolf first. Its injuries are more severe. If we don't act quickly, it will perish." Basang's wife glanced at the gray wolf lying on the ground, blood pooling beneath it, and sighed. She first secured a muzzle on the wolf before beginning treatment. Lin Chen looked on in surprise. Bong smiled at him, explaining, "Wolves are also lives. They were merely hungry. We do not harm them unless absolutely necessary." Lin Chen pondered this, realizing it reflected a cultural difference. This land, rich in beliefs, held wolves as creatures of unique spiritual significance for the people of Sichuan. Since ancient times, the inhabitants here have grown accustomed to a life of both rivalry and coexistence with wolves. Bong, astonished, surveyed Lin Chen and remarked, "It seems you have retained much from our previous encounter. Tomorrow, let us engage in a proper duel." Lin Chen, caught between laughter and exasperation, replied, "Uncle Bong, is now truly the time for such discussions?" Bong stated, "The alpha wolf on the hillside has just howled, signaling a retreat. It is safe now." He sighed, adding, "Wolves are howling over at the Dodgy family. It seems they have succeeded there." Lin Chen nodded in silence, returning the concealed knife to Bong. However, Bong declined, insisting that Lin Chen deserved the blade as a gift. The knife was indeed sharp, and Lin Chen accepted it without protest. Upon leaving the shelter, Lin Chen spotted Brother Yuanhang in the distance, holding a phone. Upon noticing Lin Chen, Brother Yuanhang hurried over, his face pale and his legs trembling. "Lin, I nearly died when 2 wolves sprinted past me just a few meters away." Despite his words, his eyes sparkled with a sense of thrill. Lin Chen scrutinized him and chuckled. "You didn't wet yourself, did you?" He then accepted the firearm that Brother Yuanhang discreetly handed him, securing it once more. Brother Yuanhang exclaimed, "Lin, your movements were astonishing. You leaped in so swiftly, and I even captured footage of 2 wolves bursting out. Surely you didn't throw them out, did you?" Standing together, they gazed into the live stream, astonished to find nearly 30 million viewers online. The comments flooded in, with many eager to know what had transpired during Lin Chen's entry. Some even confidently asserted that Lin Chen must possess martial prowess, claiming that his acrobatics were the fabled lightness of foot. Lin Chen chuckled. "It's not as complicated as you think. It's akin to parkour. The technique I employed is quite similar. As for the wolves that emerged, it was actually the yaks that caused the commotion, much like when Yuan Fengshen was tossed from one side of the road to the other. The only difference is that Yuan Fengshen did indeed wet himself, while the wolves did not." At the old Capital Bridge Hospital, Wu Ermao, lying on his hospital bed and filled with disappointment at not witnessing Lin Chen being mauled by wolves, was suddenly taken aback. In the dead of night, his anguished roar echoed through the ward. "Lin Chen, I, Wu Ermao, will not rest until we are at odds. He vowed, once I am discharged, I shall surely end you. At that moment, a urine-filled chamber pot was hurled from the adjacent bed, splashing across his face. Splash. A face wash with urine. Who can sleep like this? Keep it up, and I'll take you out first. Chapter 158. Brother Lin, who exactly are you? In Brother Yuanhong's livestream, countless viewers reacted with glee upon hearing Lin Chen mention Wu Ermao once more. Those who had witnessed the livestream found it uproariously amusing. Wu Ermao is truly unfortunate, suddenly being dragged into this by Lin Shun. Ha ha, did Wu Ermao really wet himself? Given Wu Ermao's nature, he must have. When Lin Shun says it, it must be true. Lin Shun is quite nostalgic, constantly remembering old acquaintances. I wonder how Wu Ermao is faring in the old Capital Bridge Hospital? In the dead of night, I found myself laughing out loud, thinking of Wu Ermao's infamous middle finger. Wu Ermao was just mocking Lin Shun in the Hall of Fame group. He must be fuming now. At that moment, a comment from Deguza at Old Capital Bridge read, "Fuming. Working the night shift is exhausting. Earlier, a patient was shouting in the ward, and just now, a chamber pot hit me in the face, leaving me covered in an unidentifiable liquid. Enough of this. I'm off to clean the bed." Though not a floating comment, the sheer number of viewers ensured many saw it. The comments exploded. No way. The one hit by the chamber pot can't possibly be my Yuan Fengshen, right? It can't be true. Ha ha ha. This is a flavorful comment. Fengshen is really going mad now. Wu Ermao, don't I have any pride? Just read my ID already. Deguza is truly ruthless. She is mercilessly dragging my Fengshen. I usually don't laugh unless I can't help it. Ha ha. Wu Ermao has become a legend in the live streaming circle. Lin Chen couldn't help but laugh. He had almost forgotten about Wu Ermao. But now the man was reasserting himself in the group. He decided to inform Zhang Qian that individuals like Wu Ermao, who had essentially bid farewell to live streaming, should be removed from the group. Just then, Brother Yuanhang exclaimed, "There are more wolves." Following his gaze, Lin Chen spotted two limping wolves sprinting towards the village's edge, glancing back with their green eyes, filled with terror. These were indeed the two he had kicked away. Lin Shun had shown them mercy, intending not to kill them, or else he could have easily done so. Then, his gaze followed the direction in which the wolves fled, rising slightly to rest upon a small hill several hundred meters away. There, a pair of green eyes were fixated on him. Realizing it was likely the alpha wolf Bong had mentioned, Lin Shun felt a stirring in his heart. Moments later, around 10 more wolves appeared around the alpha, 2 of which were carrying calves in their mouths. The alpha howled and turned, leading the pack away. All the viewers in the live stream caught a glimpse of this scene through Brother Yuanhong's phone, their hearts profoundly shaken, as comments related to the wolves poured in incessantly. Lin Shun patted Brother Yuanhong's shoulder and beckoned him back to the inn, knocking on the already closed door. It swung open to reveal a visibly anxious Zhuoma, who inquired about her parents' safety. Lin Chen briefly recounted the situation, omitting his own involvement. Upon learning that the wolves had departed and her parents were unharmed, Zhuoma heaved a sigh of relief. Brother Yuanhang, unable to contain himself, interjected, "Zhuoma, your yaks are truly formidable. They can even toss wolves out of the enclosure." Zhuoma paused, a peculiar expression crossing her face as she regarded Lin Shun with a strange look. As someone who had grown up among yaks, she knew they could only butt and trample wolves. The notion that they could throw wolves out of the enclosure was utterly unheard of. Clearly, Brother Yuanhang was not lying, which meant that Lin Chen must have been the one exaggerating. This man from Central Plains was even more valiant than a yak. Clearing his throat, Lin Shun averted his gaze from Zhuoma and led Brother Yuanhang upstairs, leaving a few exuberant guests in the common area still buzzing with chatter. At the door of their room, Brother Yuanhang bid farewell to the viewers before shutting off the live stream. He then eagerly followed Lin Chen into the room. Once the door was closed, his eyes gleamed as he whispered, "Brother Lin, can I take another look at that thing?" Lin Chen glanced at him, retrieving the handgun and handing it over. It suddenly occurred to him that he had forgotten to disengage the safety when he had previously given it to Brother Yuanhang. If an emergency were to arise, he could only mourn for him. Brother Yuanhang took the firearm and expertly began to handle it, disengaging the safety, ejecting the magazine, and inspecting the bullets, all while muttering in awe, "What a remarkable piece, Brother Lin. This gun is extraordinary." Reluctantly, he returned the firearm to Lin Shun. Yuanhang's gaze was peculiar, and he could no longer restrain his curiosity. "Lin, who exactly are you? Could you be an undercover operative posing as a streamer?" Lin Shun, putting away the gun, looked at him in silence and replied, "Are you aware of a condition known as delusional superiority syndrome?" Yuanhang shook his head, perplexed. Lin Shen patiently elucidated, Individuals afflicted with this ailment either regard themselves as extraordinarily exceptional or believe others to be so. He produced a firearm permit and handed it over. Yuan Hang had encountered such documentation before. Apart from specific departments like the Security Bureau and the National Security Agency, as well as athletes involved in shooting sports, only certain occupations like security personnel and sailors could possess such permits. Generally, unless one was a person of considerable influence, the average individual would find it nearly impossible to acquire a firearm permit. Yuan Hang opened it and noted that the category listed was special profession. His demeanor soured. When did a pedestrian streamer become classified as a special profession necessitating a firearm? He quickly realized that the specifics mattered little. What was significant was Lin Chen's possession of this permit. It indicated that, even if Lin Chen was not the special operative he had initially imagined, he was certainly extraordinary. In Yuan Hang's eyes, Lin Chen became even more enigmatic. Observing him, it seemed that the delusional superiority syndrome would not be resolved anytime soon. Yuan Hang respectfully returned the firearm permit to Lin Chen, refraining from further inquiries, and retreated to his room. Lin Chen settled into a chair on the balcony and took out his spare phone. After a moment as contemplation, he entered Sister AI Faye's livestream. He discovered that Sister AI Faye had already concluded her broadcast, yet many viewers lingered in the chat room, engaging in casual conversation. Lin Chen, the dashing hero, sent 100 carnival gifts. Upon sending this gift, the chat erupted into excitement. Lin Chen, however, promptly exited. The interactions between prominent streamers required careful consideration due to the vast number of fans involved. One misstep could incite chaos among both fan bases. Currently, his relationship with Sister AI Faye was akin to a gentlemanly acquaintance, pleasant yet distant. After sending the gift, he glanced at the time. It was nearly 2 in the morning. Just as he prepared to sleep, a phone call interrupted him. Upon glancing at the screen, he was surprised to see it was from Zhong Wenzhou. Intrigued, he answered the call. Zhong Wenzhou's familiar voice resonated. I noticed Yuan Hang ended his stream, and I guessed you might still be awake. So I thought I'd update you on the 2 individuals who attempted to seize your phone earlier today. Lin Chen's brow furrowed slightly. Who are they? He inquired. Chapter 159, Redeeming the Basic Golden Brain. Lin Chen felt revitalized. Zhong Wenzhou scoffed. They are agents dispatched by the Mida nation infiltrating the Sichuan region. Through preliminary interrogation and the evidence we gathered, we concluded that they are associated with the 5-Star Factory. In addition to those 2, we also apprehended 2 accomplices who were providing support. Subsequently, we traced them back and dismantled 2 hideouts. Lin Chen's expression hardened. Prior to this, he had speculated about the Mango Factory and even the colorful Flag Nation, but he had not anticipated the involvement of Mida. This nation is a vassal of the colorful Flag Nation externally, yet internally controlled by several powerful conglomerates, including the 5-Star Factory. Particularly, the Zheng family of the 5-Star Factory wields significant influence in Mida. To the public in Tang country, they are known for their production of mobile phones and appliances. However, within Mida, the industrial network of the 5-Star Factory is expansive, encompassing resources, real estate, telecommunications, heavy machinery, electronics, finance, and clothing, permeating every aspect of Mida society. It is evident that this time, not only the Mango Factory, but also the 5-Star Factory has recognized the value of live streaming smartphones. However, unlike the Mango Factory, which sought collaboration, the 5-Star Factory employed a more straightforward and aggressive approach, directly sending personnel to seize them. This behavior aligns with the typical modus operandi of Mida. What is mine, and all is mine. Zhong Wenzhou spoke in a grave tone. This situation is too significant. Higher-ups are preparing to engage in serious negotiations with Mida. However, you should brace yourself. It may take some time before any results materialize. Lin Chen acknowledged this with understanding. Noticing Lin Chen's calm demeanor, Zhong Wenzhou sighed in relief and continued. This time, your capture of the spies constitutes a major accomplishment, and you will receive a substantial reward, approximately 3 million. Lin Chen was taken aback. So much? I thought the bounty was 50,000 for each one captured. Zhong Wenzhou's voice carried a hint of amusement. These are no ordinary 50,000 bounties. They are trained operatives. Since you personally apprehended them, the reward is naturally higher. By the way, earlier today, a sum of 500 million has already been transferred to your account. You noticed, right? Lin Chen replied, I did. This was precisely the reason he felt unperturbed by the threat posed by the Fist Dog and his associates. Even if they had amassed significant funds, he could still confront them with confidence. Truth be told, if it weren't for the system's mission, transitioning into a city outdoor streamer would be quite appealing. Driving luxury cars while accompanied by several beautiful women, dining lavishly, was the lifestyle befitting the affluent. Zhang Wenzhou hesitated momentarily before stating, "The higher-ups would like you to consider training a group of personnel in that qi and blood transportation technique, and subsequently appointing them as instructors to teach others." Lin Shen pondered for a moment. "Sure, have them wait for me in Zhangya County. After all, having received such a substantial sum, it is only fitting to invest effort into proper after-sales service." Zhang Wenzhou immediately affirmed that he would make arrangements and contact Lin Shen once he arrived in Zhangya County. The call ended, and Lin Shen went through his nightly routine before lying down. However, due to Zhang Wenzhou's phone call, he was ablaze with frustration. Sleep eluded him, oscillating between restlessness and agitation. He decided to recite the intermediate misfortune incantation for self-hypnosis. He had amassed numerous enemies: the Fist Dog, the Inquirer, Huang Dong, and the others. Not to mention the streamers from the Abyss, and now the Zheng family of the Five-Star Factory was added to the list. How the higher-ups would negotiate was beyond his concern. What was certain was that no matter the negotiations, they could not inflict tangible harm upon the Zheng family and its leaders. Thus, he resolved to address the matter in his own way, as it would yield quicker results and bring him greater peace of mind. Capture the ringleader first. Lin Shen searched online for a photograph of Zheng Taiyu, the current head of the Five-Star Factory. He focused intently and chanted for 15 minutes before reluctantly stopping. Next, he turned his attention to Huang Daiping, Mi Wei, and Zhao Herong, the three individuals backing the Fist Dog. He couldn't eliminate them all at once. Such synchronized misfortune would be too conspicuous and raise suspicions. He opted for Huang Daiping, who had a prominent mole on his lip. Another 15 minutes passed. Following that, he focused on the Fist Dog for 6 minutes, and on the Inquirer for 8 minutes. In Lin Shen's view, the Inquirer was even more detestable than the Fist Dog. At least the Fist Dog dared to confront him directly. In the end, even when he knew he couldn't complete the action, he still attempted it with determination. The Inquirer, on the other hand, merely lurked in the shadows, taking potshots whenever the opportunity arose, which was truly despicable. During the earlier investigation, he had notably failed to deliver a precise counterstrike against the Inquirer. The dynamics of the e-commerce segment differed significantly from others. Competition existed, yet the atmosphere was far less charged. This was because e-commerce streamers had a vast array of products to promote. Even top-tier streamers like the Inquirer could not monopolize every product category. Furthermore, many items deemed subpar by the Inquirer were absorbed by lower-tier streamers. Thus, among streamers of considerable scale within the same platform, significant friction was rare. For e-commerce streamers, the landscape was markedly different. With the energy to create a rhythm, it would be far more beneficial to shout a few times in the live broadcast room and sell more products. Fully aware of this, Lin Shen resolutely chose not to collaborate with the merchandise anchor. While the other party might appreciate his goodwill and the traffic he brought, they would certainly not jeopardize their relationship with the top-tier anchor, Wendaoj. After all, Wendaoj was indeed at the pinnacle. As long as the products he endorsed did not suffer significant quality or price issues, attempting to undermine him in such a manner would be utterly impossible. This was precisely why Wendaoj felt unthreatened by Lin Shen's presence. Consequently, Lin Shen decided to extend some additional consideration towards him at this moment. After cursing Wendaoj, Lin Shen felt a wave of dizziness. At the same time, he realized that his spiritual power had subtly increased after several curses. Had it been before, he would likely have already started bleeding from the nose. He immediately called out to the system within his mind. "System, I wish to exchange for the primary golden brain." The system responded, "Ding." The primary golden brain enhances brain domain development by 20, increases spiritual power by 100, and requires a consumption of 2 million popularity points. Please confirm whether to exchange. Notes: it can be upgraded to the intermediate golden brain, requiring 4 million popularity points. Additionally, utilizing the extra brain domain development will consume more blood oxygen and energy. Please prepare for oxygen supplementation and energy sources to avoid symptoms such as hypoglycemia, fainting, or spasms. Friendly reminder 1. As the host has already unlocked absolute control, this skill can supplement blood oxygen consumption. Friendly reminder 2. The host may consider taking the fasting pill to meet additional energy consumption needs. Lin Shen was taken aback, sensing that the system might have a scheme regarding his popularity points. If he had not exchanged for absolute control and the fasting pill, using extra brain domain development would require him to simultaneously inhale oxygen, consume copious amounts of meat, and recite curses. This could potentially lead to hypoglycemia and fainting. Thus, Lin Shen promptly confirmed exchange for the primary golden brain. Currently, his maximum popularity points exceeded 36 million. Even after deducting $2 million for the exchange and accounting for the previous expenditure of $5 million, he still had over 30 million popularity points remaining. Ding. Exchange for the primary golden brain successful. As the system's voice resonated, Lin Chen felt a warm current surging within his brain. In an instant, it felt as if a new realm had been unlocked. The surge in spiritual power was merely the beginning. The entire world transformed in his perception. It was akin to an ordinary person consuming 7 or 8 cans of coffee in one breath, granting him an unprecedented clarity of mind and remarkable agility of thought. Even with his eyes closed, he could distinctly perceive the trajectory of every speck of dust in the surrounding air, forming patterns in his mind. Lin Chen discovered that he could vividly recall every detail of his past life, and this life from childhood to the present, with perfect clarity measured in seconds. If he wished, he could construct a mental sanctuary, accessible only to him, reminiscent of a television drama he had once watched. At this moment, he recalled the design blueprints of the live broadcast phone and realized that the already astonishing design had even more potential for upgrades. He even conceived some detailed ideas for further enhancements, such as transforming the live broadcast phone's vortex propeller flight mechanism into anti-gravity magnetic levitation, optimizing certain areas to reduce component count and energy consumption. Regarding the live broadcast phone, Lin Chen understood that there would inevitably be suspicions about its origins. Although the system had compensated for many details during reward distribution, from patent registrations to various experimental materials and purchasing records, as well as a collection of worn-out professional books on related knowledge, those with ulterior motives would find it difficult to uncover any flaws. However, even so, if he were in their position, he would still be reluctant to easily believe that such advanced technologies, like thermal semi-fluid batteries, could be developed by a mere online anchor. Nevertheless, both parties had reached an understanding. As long as they confirmed that Lin Chen was neither an enemy agent nor an extraterrestrial, the truth had become inconsequential, and there was no need to delve further into the matter, at least not at this moment. After acclimating to the novel sensations, Lin Chen felt that the expenditure of 2 million popularity points was indeed worthwhile. Following the development of his brain domain, he had become a true genius in every sense. He could largely free himself from reliance on the system, and engaging in scientific research during his leisure time was no longer a problem. With his spiritual power surging, he suddenly felt invigorated. He consumed a fasting pill while directing the oxygen in his blood to concentrate on his brain. First, he targeted Wu Ermao, cursing him for 2 minutes. Next were Abyss Lord, Daluo Immortal, Zhang Xiaojiao, and Tianqing Outdoor, each receiving a brief 2-minute curse. He did not intend for them to suffer as severely as the father-son pair of Zhang Yuan and Zhang Nantian. He regarded this as a daily task, ensuring they lived amidst various misfortunes. When it came to Xingxiu Bagua, he recited curses for a full 8 minutes. In the end, Lin Chen could not let go of Mi Wei and Zhao Herong. After all, they were in the same boat with Huang Daiping. They should share in the tribulations. He promptly cursed them for 4 minutes each. After a round of curses, Lin Chen finally felt at ease, drifting into a hazy sleep. The following morning, at 8 o'clock, Lin Chen was awakened by the ringing of his phone. Upon checking, he was surprised to see that it was a call from Zhang Qianji. Interestingly, he and Zhang Qianji had always communicated through text. This was their first official conversation. After connecting, Zhang Qianji's voice sounded heavy, yet carried a hint of the excitement one might feel when sharing good news. Lin Chen, something happened to Chairman Huang last night. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen could not help but raise the corners of his mouth in feigned surprise. What happened to him? Zhang Qianji lowered his voice. I'm telling you this in confidence. Don't share it with anyone. Chairman Huang spent the night at a small starlet's house. And this starlet has a 2-year-old child. Her husband, also in the entertainment industry, is often away filming. In the middle of the night, her husband suddenly came home. Chairman Huang, in a panic, threw on a bathrobe and climbed onto the air conditioning unit, but unexpectedly slipped and fell from the 2nd floor. He has multiple fractures, along with a brain hemorrhage, and is currently in the hospital. He hasn't regained consciousness after emergency treatment. I'm on my way to the hospital now. Lin Chen was astounded. Had Chairman Huang's numerous misdeeds finally caught up with him? A mere 15 minutes of intermediate misfortune curse led to such dire consequences? Moreover, was the entertainment industry truly this chaotic? The starlet's surname was Liu, and she had a 2-year-old child. With his brain domain developed, Lin Chen instantly recalled a piece of entertainment news he had seen in his previous life. The 5-line actress Lu Qing had married the popular young star Wan Hanwen 2.5 years ago after becoming pregnant. After the marriage, Lu Qing had faded from the entertainment scene to focus on family. If all went as expected, she was the one involved with Huang Daiping. However, Wan Hanwen was quite tall and handsome, while Huang Daiping was old, unattractive, and sported a mole the size of a soybean on his lip. How could Lu Qing ever consider him? Zhang Qianji continued on the phone. From what I know, that small starlet has a lover. Guess who it is? Lin Shen could not help but chuckle, surprised that the esteemed president of Fengyin was so knowledgeable about entertainment gossip. He casually asked, who? Zhang Qianji replied mysteriously, Zhang Yuan. Even more bizarre, he and Chairman Huang are currently in the same hospital. Lin Shen was taken aback. What are the odds of that happening? Was Lu Qing lacking paternal affection? While others sought after young male companions, she seemed to prefer the aged and withered. It was evident she had some peculiar preferences. Unfortunately, Wan Hanwen was the one suffering. Lin Shen could not help but question the true identity of that child, Lu Qing. It seemed too coincidental. Although Guanglin Media and Fengyin headquarters were both located in Hangzhou, the city's numerous major hospitals made it highly unusual for them to converge in such a manner. This, however, facilitated Lu Qing's ability to visit both individuals simultaneously. Lin Shen quickly realized why Zhang Qianji had chosen to call him with such explosive information. Judging by Zhang Qianji's personal background, he had previously spent some time at Guanglin Media, only to be ostracized and subsequently fade into obscurity for several years before finally ascending to a senior position at Fengyin as president. Journalists had previously attempted to uncover the underlying issues, which seemed to be related to Zhang Yuan. Presently, both he and Zhang Qianji found themselves united by two common adversaries, both of whom were connected by a shared woman. Now, both of these adversaries were hospitalized in the same institution. Such sensational news, along with favorable developments, made Lin Shen the most apt confidant for Zhang Qianji to share this with. It was also a subtle gesture of camaraderie. However, Zhang Qianji was not to be underestimated. The implications of his words suggested that he had been investigating Zhang Yuan and Huang Daiping's private lives for quite some time. After divulging the information, Zhang Qianji instructed Lin Shen not to share it with anyone, promptly ending the call. Yet, Lin Shen felt that Zhang Qianji was subtly encouraging him to spread the word. Nevertheless, he was reluctant to engage in such vindictive behavior. It seemed rather pointless. Ultimately, the individuals most likely to suffer the consequences would be Wan Hanwen and the 2-year-old child. After waking and freshening up, Lin Shen did not immediately begin a live broadcast. Brother Yuan was still asleep, so Lin Shen chose not to disturb him. As he descended the stairs, he perused financial news on his mobile device. To his dismay, he found no updates regarding Zheng Taiyu, the president of Wuxing Factory. Given Huang Daiping's dire situation, Lin Shen found it hard to believe that Zheng Taiyu was unscathed. He suspected that news of his condition had been suppressed. On the other hand, he did come across reports about Mango Factory, which had issued a clarification that proved to be ineffectual. Instead, the previous night's altercation with Wang Chun had become a focal point for various media outlets. Particularly, Wang Chun's revealing remarks had severely tarnished Mango Factory's reputation. The comments section was inundated with scornful jests directed at the company. In the span of 2 days, the stock price had plummeted by a total of 7%. After greeting several tourists who had already come downstairs, Lin Shen enjoyed a breakfast of lamb buns, a specialty of the Sichuan region. Just as he finished his meal, Bong entered from outside and, upon spotting Lin Shen, immediately said, "Lin Shen, come with me." Lin Shen followed him outside, asking, "Uncle Bong, what is the matter?" Bong led him to a nearby storage shed, lowering his voice to say, "There is something amiss with that wolf." Lin Shen was puzzled, but Bong did not elaborate. He unlocked the shed's chain, turned on the light, and stepped inside. Inside the shed, a space had been cleared, with an iron cage positioned in the center. Within it lay the gray wolf, which Lin Shen had injured with a concealed dagger the previous day. It was still wearing a muzzle, with bandages wrapped around its neck. Upon seeing Bong approach, the wolf struggled to rise, baring its teeth and lowering its body, exhibiting a fierce demeanor. However, upon catching sight of Lin Shen following behind, its tail instinctively tucked between its legs, its ears pinned back, and it emitted a whimper, retreating in fear. Bong chuckled, grabbing a flashlight hanging on the wall, and shone it onto the wolf's back, saying, "Look at that scar on its back." Lin Shen had not closely examined the wolf during their previous encounter. Following the beam of light, he noticed a small patch devoid of fur, revealing a wound that appeared to have healed only recently. Frowning, he glanced at Bong and asked, "Gunshot wound?" Bong nodded slightly, his expression turning serious. "We rarely see guns around here anymore. If there are any, they're likely old flintlock rifles, which inflict different kinds of injuries compared to modern firearms. This wolf's gunshot wound was likely left by poachers, with the bullet possibly still lodged in its body." Lin Chen's brow furrowed. 20 years ago, poaching had been rampant in the Sichuan region, with groups hunting protected animals such as antelope, wild donkeys, and deer extensively. It was only after higher authorities took notice and launched sustained crackdowns that many poachers were apprehended and sentenced, curtailing the rampant poaching activities. In recent years, news of poachers being caught had become scarce, but that did not imply their disappearance. It merely suggested that some had become more cautious, honing their evasion skills. Bong continued, I had found it strange that no wolf packs had been sighted near our village for many years. Even if there were, they typically would not attack human settlements. Now it's clear that this pack must have encountered poachers and migrated from their original territory. Unfamiliar with the local terrain and unable to find sufficient food, they resorted to last night's attack. Judging by its scar, the injury could not be more than 20 days old. Lin Chen nodded slightly, asking, Have you reported it to the town's authorities? Bong replied, Yes, they will come to take a look shortly. However, given the time that has elapsed, it will be quite challenging to trace the poachers through the wolf pack's migration patterns. He then added, This wolf is in trouble. Unless the bullet is removed, it will undoubtedly face further issues. We need to call a specialized veterinarian to perform the surgery. Lin Chen approached the iron cage, squatted down, and locked eyes with the gray wolf. Activating his beast-taming technique, the wolf whined softly and crawled closer. In awe of Lin Chen's ability, Bong watched as Lin Chen extended a finger to touch the wolf's forehead. A thread of innate energy coursed through the wolf's body. The poachers must have fired from a distance, and the bullet was lodged between the ribs, having missed vital organs. For now, it was not a significant concern. Having discerned the wolf's condition, Lin Chen turned to Bong and said, There is no need for a complex procedure. Do you have alcohol, gauze, adhesive tape, a scalpel, tweezers, and needle and thread? Bong, still astonished by the wolf's compliance and Lin Chen's presence, widened his eyes in disbelief at the suggestion. You want to perform surgery on it? Are you capable? Lin Chen replied confidently, I worked at a pet shop before, assisting in surgeries for dogs. I should manage just fine. Since the previous night, Bong had begun to regard Lin Chen as someone of profound mystery. Without further ado, he quickly fetched a medical kit. Upon his return, he was accompanied by Zhuoma. Lin Chen requested the key to the cage from Bong, unlocked it, and grabbed the wolf by the scruff of its neck. Pulling it out, the wolf, tail tucked and trembling, gazed fearfully at Lin Chen. Zhuoma, about to scream, was rendered speechless by the sight before her. Bong, having seen such encounters before, merely frowned and remarked, I don't have any anesthetics. If you're truly going to operate, it may not cooperate. Lin Chen replied, It's unnecessary. With that, he swiftly slapped the wolf on the back of its head, causing it to lose consciousness instantly. Chapter 161. Finish the operation and depart. Arriving at Blackstone City, Lin Chen began by disinfecting all necessary instruments. Using a scalpel, he carefully shaved the fur around the wound. After resanitizing the blade, he made a precise incision on the already healing scar, and with his right hand, the tweezers plunged deep into the wound. In the next moment, a yellow bullet was extracted. Following this, he stuffed a piece of alcohol-soaked gauze into the wound, vigorously stirring it in all directions. The unconscious gray wolf was jolted awake by the pain, letting out a mournful howl and struggling to rise. Lin Chen delivered a swift slap, rendering the gray wolf unconscious once more. Zhuoma cast a sympathetic glance at the beast. After disinfecting the area, he used a clean gauze to dab away the oozing blood, then began to stitch the wound with the sanitized needle and thread. Lacking formal training in suturing techniques, he employed a method akin to mending clothing, deftly weaving the thread in and out. In less than 10 seconds, the wound was expertly closed. He then applied a final round of antiseptic to the area, covered it with a piece of gauze, and secured it with breathable tape. Grasping the wolf by the neck, he tossed it back into the cage and locked it up. Concluding his work, beside him, Bong and Zhuoma were left in awe. Lin Chen's proficiency rivaled even that of seasoned veterinarians, prompting speculation about his former profession. Standing up, Lin Chen remarked that further disinfection of the wounds and administering some veterinary anti-inflammatory medication should suffice for the wolf's recovery. Without waiting for Basang's response, he picked up the bullet and exited the small room, leaving behind a wave of mystery. Bong glanced at the wolf in the cage, then turned to Zhuoma. Zhuoma, Lin Chen is leaving today. Are you truly going to let him go? Zhuoma stared out the door, lost in thought as Lin Chen's departing figure faded from view. As he strolled away, Lin Chen toyed with the bullet in his hand, bringing it to his nose to inhale its scent. Already memorizing the aroma of the person who had fired it, his sense of smell, though perhaps not as keen as a dog's, was still quite formidable. He harbored a deep disdain for poaching, yet he had not yet mustered the righteous fervor to embark on a relentless pursuit of poachers. However, should the opportunity arise in the future, he would not hesitate to demonstrate the might of justice. Upon returning to the inn, Lin Shen found Yuang Hang already downstairs, devouring a large bun. Upon noticing Lin Shen, Yuang Hang hastily swallowed his mouthful and asked, "Brother Lin, are we departing for Haishi City soon?" "Not in a rush." Lin Shen replied, "Didn't we draw a lot of prizes yesterday? I need to purchase the phones for the winning audience members first." Yuang Hang was taken aback. 1,000 phones? How long will that take to buy? Should I find some people to help? Lin Shen shook his head. No need. With Xiaoji assisting. It should be quick. Go ahead and eat. With that, he ascended the stairs to his room, granting Xiaoji permission to utilize the funds linked to his bank card. Based on the prize-winning information from Fengyin's backend, he placed orders for the respective phones at various flagship stores. As Lin Shen had mentioned to Yuang Hang, the process was remarkably swift. Customer service representatives at several flagship stores were left bewildered by the sudden influx of order notifications, wondering how such a flurry of purchases could occur outside of promotional events, and all from the same account. In under 5 minutes, Xiaoji had completed the orders for 1,000 phones. By this time, Lin Shen had readied his belongings, slung his backpack over his shoulder, and initiated a live stream. The streaming room was already brimming with over 1 million viewers, and as the screen flickered to life, a barrage of comments flooded in. "Here we go. Finally. The stream has started. Lin God, confess, after last night's stream, did you go to find Zhuoma? Last night was too intense. I hardly slept. I feel like I'm already enchanted by Lin God, unwilling to miss a single second. I've even quit my job, from now on. I'm a professional Lin God viewer." Lin God and Wang Chun's skirmish made it to trending. Lin God is amazing, single-handedly. He caused Mango Factory's stock to plummet by 7 points. Lin Chun chuckled at the comments, greeting his viewers. "Good morning, everyone. I've finished breakfast. And soon I'll be heading to Haishi City with Yuang Hang. After we explore the sites there, we'll aim to settle in Jianya County by today." He added, "Regarding the situation with Mango Factory, let me clarify. It has little to do with me. Their stock decline is entirely of their own doing." This prompted a wave of laughter in the comments. What a perfect "it's none of your business" statement. Wang Chun must be fainting in the restroom upon hearing this. James clapped his thighs in amazement and ended up injuring himself. Mr. Peng sighed dramatically. "Why was Lin born while I was born as Peng? Ha ha, Lin God is flustered." Mango Factory lost a staggering 160 to 70 billion in market value in just 2 days. Can you simply brush that off? Wait, is the person above serious? Did Mango Factory really lose that much value? Mango Factory must truly resent Lin God now. Just then, Yuang Hang returned upstairs. Upon seeing Lin Shen prepared to leave, he exclaimed, "Brother Lin, you've already bought the phones?" Lin Shen nodded. "Yes, all set. Pack your things. We're checking out and heading to Haishi City." Yuang Hang gasped in disbelief. 1,000 phones, and you managed to order them all in just a few minutes? This completely reshapes my understanding of Xiaoji. No wonder so many big names in the phone industry are eager to collaborate. Without further thought, he hurried back to his room to gather his belongings. As Lin Shen descended the stairs, he informed the winners that their phones had been shipped, urging them to keep an eye on the logistics updates. Many winners chimed in the comments, expressing that they had already received notifications from the flagship stores. This sparked a wave of envy and admiration in the chat. Arriving in the lobby, Lin Shen approached Bong at the counter to request his checkout. At that moment, Zhuoma emerged with a briefcase, seemingly preparing to head to the village's primary school. Upon noticing Lin Shen with his backpack, her expression became somewhat complex, her beautiful eyes reflecting a multitude of unspoken words. This scene did not go unnoticed by the live audience, sending the comments into a frenzy. Whoa, Zhuoma's gaze tells a story. Oh no, Zhuoma has undoubtedly fallen for him. Single folks are wishing they could take his place. If I were Lin God, I'd definitely stay. Lin God, are you really not considering it again? 200 yaks and 500 sheep is no small sum. Sigh. It's the first day missing Zhuoma. Just as the checkout process was completed, Yuang Hang came down with his bag. He noticed Zhuoma gazing intently at Lin Shen and felt a pang of jealousy. Despite being a wealthy second generation, he found himself entirely overshadowed in Lin Shen's presence. Zhuoma stole a glance at Lin Shen for a brief moment before turning to leave. Bong sighed softly at Zhuoma's departing figure and remarked, Lin Shen, I will take good care of that wolf. Once it has healed, I will return it to the wild. It's a pity we couldn't have a proper sparring session. Lin Shen smiled. If fate allows, there will be another opportunity. The audience in the live stream erupted at Bong's words, bombarding the comments with inquiries. They speculated that Lin Shen must have captured a live wolf last night, likely injured by either Bong or Lin Shen himself. A recurring comment began to dominate the screen. Shocking. What exactly did Lin God do to the wolf last night? This left Lin Chen somewhat speechless. Without offering an explanation, he called out to Yuan Hang and departed the inn, following the path toward Haishi City. After a moment, Yuan Hang couldn't help but ask, "Brother Lin, do you truly feel no lingering attachment to Zhuoma?" Lin Chen teased, "What? Are you quite taken with her? Go ahead." Yuan Hang sighed, "I wish I could, but she doesn't see me that way." Lin Chen patted his shoulder. "It's a good thing she doesn't. What is the point?" Yuan Hang was momentarily taken aback. Meanwhile, the audience in the live stream found great amusement in the exchange. The majority could see that Yuan Hang's so-called infatuation was merely a fleeting infatuation from a lifelong single. In most cases, when backgrounds, education, preferences, spending habits, and social circles diverge too greatly, harmonious relationships are seldom achieved. Without further ado, let us consider the female celebrities who have married into affluent families. Those who genuinely lead a happy life, or even merely appear to do so, are exceedingly rare. This analogy applies equally to Yuan Hang and Zhuoma. Moreover, compared to other scions of wealthy families, Yuan Hang's character is well known to all. He is indeed a good person, yet he embodies the quintessential traits of a typical good man. Most flaws observable in other rich heirs can also be found in him. If he were to be confined to this highland region, living daily among cattle and sheep, it is probable that he would flee within a fortnight. Hence, Lin Chen remarked that Zhuoma's lack of interest in Yuan Hang at this juncture is fortuitous. At that moment, a floating barrage appeared. Xiao Jieja sent 66 Ferris wheels. Xiao Jieja commented, "Brother, Dad wants to ask you, do you know what fatherly love is like a fan means?" Lin Chen acknowledged the gift. Seeing his sister send a present, Yuan Hang hurried over. Upon reading the barrage, his expression turned pale, followed by a cold smirk. "I don't know when Dad has ever fanned me. But if he knew you lent your friends nearly 5 million and Haven Tea collected it back in almost a year, he would surely let you experience what fatherly love truly feels like." As soon as these words left his mouth, the barrage erupted. "Wow. Is the young lady really that wealthy? Oh my. Is this the world of the rich? I dream of having a friend like Jejia." "Xiao Jejia, do you need more friends? I want to be friends. Life is truly unfair. Why can some people easily get scammed out of millions while I struggle to save even 100,000? Goodness, Yuan Hang is getting bold. Is he ready to spar with Jejia? Ha ha ha, just like my sister and me. We used to fight to the death when we were kids." Amidst the rolling barrage, 5 seconds later, Xiao Jejia declared, "You're doomed. Just wait." Yuan Hang feigned bravado with a cold smirk. "What are you afraid of? You can only sell my figurines. What else can you do?" However, Jejia's ID had vanished from the VIP section. The quietest dog is the most fearsome. Yuan Hang felt uneasy, glancing at Lin Chen. Anxious. "Lin Gu, she won't do anything foolish, will she?" Lin Chen cast a glance at the barrage and sighed softly. "I believe you just did something foolish." He then patted Yuan Hang on the shoulder. "Good luck." On hearing this, Yuan Hang panicked. He spent the next half hour anxiously walking alongside Lin Chen. Finally, they reached the fork leading to Haishi City, following the rutted path, trudging through mud and gravel. After an hour of walking, they arrived at a broad highland ridge. Before them stood the majestic and resplendent Gonga Mountain, white as the wall of heaven, seemingly within arm's reach. Awe-inspiring and grand, it was beyond words. Glancing to the other side, one could see the imposing silhouette of the Leia Snow Mountain, towering like a white giant. At the ridge's end lay several ruins of stone cities constructed from black slate, with prayer flags faded by the elements fluttering above, silently recounting stories of yore. They had reached Haishi City. Chapter 162, A Narrow Encounter. Outdoor king of the platform, only those who have not visited Haishi City cannot truly comprehend the grandeur and desolation of a world so vast, where humanity feels diminutive. Lin Chen and Yuan Hang walked along the highland ridge, meandering slowly along the rutted path. On either side lay grasslands tinged with yellow, many areas still blanketed by unmelted snow. After a few minutes, they arrived at a site of Haishi City ruins, roughly the size of half a football field. A multitude of black stones formed the structure, with mani piles rising amidst them, resembling a stone forest. Colorful flags interspersed throughout the stone forest, with wind horse prayer flags swaying in the breeze. The live stream captured the spectacular scenery from a height of 7 or 8 meters, complemented by Lin Chen's original guitar background music, immersing viewers in a documentary-like experience. Countless awestruck comments flooded the live stream. "How magnificent is our Tang dynasty!" No wonder Lin Chen insisted on coming to Haishi City. "The scenery is simply breathtaking. As someone assigned abroad, my eyes are already misty. I miss my hometown. When I retire, I'll buy an RV and travel across the country, traversing the mountains and rivers of my homeland." That would be a life well lived. I'm too busy this year, but next year during my vacation, I must drive the 318 route again and visit Haishi City. Broke friends should come to Haishi City sooner. Otherwise, like Nabation, it might become commercialized and lose its charm. Indeed, in 2 years, Haishi City might start charging entrance fees. There are several ruins similar to those of Haishi City, varying in size, scattered across this expansive ridge. A glance revealed nearly 20 vehicles parked near the ruins. Lin Chun and Yuan Hang spotted familiar faces among the visitors, including Yang Yang and Momo, who had arrived a day earlier to camp. Their arrival did not attract much attention. Even Yang Yang and Momo, the self-media influencers, refrained from drawing unnecessary attention at this moment. In truth, after appearing in Lin Chen's livestream yesterday, their somewhat ungraceful eating habits had led to a surge of ridicule from Lin Chen's audience on their social media accounts. It was not quite cyberbullying, but they were understandably apprehensive and wished to avoid excessive interaction with Lin Chen. The popularity of such a major streamer is not easily leveraged. Successful attempts can lead to a surge in traffic, while failed attempts result in complete obscurity. Suddenly, Yuan Hong's expression shifted, and he pointed. Lin Gu, look over there. They seem to be streamers too. Lin Chun turned to see, at the furthest edge of the Haishi City ruins, near the cliff's edge, 2 RVs and a pickup truck parked. Nearby were a sunshade, lounge chairs, portable stoves, and drones. A group of 9 stood not far off, including 2 men and 2 women, each holding a selfie stick, engaged in conversation with the camera. With Lin Chen's keen hearing, even from nearly 200 meters away, he could discern their words, either expressing gratitude for gifts or interacting with their audience. They were indeed streamers, but not from Fengyin. They belonged to another platform, Peanut Live. Peanut Live, an early streaming platform initially focused on gaming, has since expanded into various fields, becoming a pioneer in outdoor streaming. Once dominant in the streaming sphere, it successfully went public. However, with the rise of new platforms like Fengyin and Manshou, Peanut Live's traffic has diminished significantly. Yet, it still retains its reputation as an elder statesman in the streaming community, with many excellent streamers whose overall strength should not be underestimated. In the outdoor realm, Peanut Live remains at the forefront, consistently innovating its programming and streaming methods, boasting many prominent outdoor streamers. Another platform similar to Peanut Live is Lychee Live, which is also formidable in the outdoor sector, having recruited numerous outdoor streamers from Peanut Live and is gradually surpassing it. Duan Yu's flashy ways of charming women with luxury cars were, in fact, learned from certain streamers on these 2 platforms, albeit without grasping the essence. In contrast, while Fengyin commands substantial traffic, it lags behind Peanut and Lychee in the outdoor segment, primarily due to the lower caliber of its streamers. With most outdoor hosts focusing on lowbrow entertainment, very few are genuinely dedicated to planning and producing outdoor programs. Unlike Peanuts or Lychees, some outdoor streamers will even spend hundreds of thousands of their own money to rent high-end equipment and hire a directing team, all in pursuit of creating a large-scale outdoor program that delights the audience. This remains true even with the emergence of Lin Chun and Fengyin. The rise of a single individual does not signify much. It can only be described as a phenomenal occurrence. It may inspire more streamers to join the outdoor live streaming realm, or perhaps attract outstanding outdoor streamers from other platforms to switch to Fengyin. One day, if Fengyin's outdoor sector can boast 8 or 9 top-tier streamers, transforming from a solitary bloom into a flourishing garden, it will truly indicate the rise of Fengyin's outdoor segment. At this moment, Lin Chen glanced over and, based on his prior understanding of the outdoor segment on the Peanut platform, immediately recognized the 2 male streamers. Among them, the tall and handsome one is none other than the current outdoor king of Peanut, Guo Liashasha. The other, shorter yet sturdier, is Tang Lang, a first-tier outdoor streamer on Peanut. Guo Liashasha's persona is similar to that of Duan Yu, flaunting luxury cars and watches as standard, yet he is far more resilient. Having undertaken 2 national tours, he is also more approachable, mingling with every viewer who aims to challenge him. He frequently participates in various philanthropic live streams that boost local economies and possesses exceptional sales capabilities. Moreover, Guo Liashasha does not shy away from sharing his audience, often inviting smaller streamers from the same platform to collaborate. Many streamers have gradually gained popularity on Peanut after participating in his programs. Naturally, such streamers are favored by the platform. However, his personality does have its flaws. He is rather arrogant, often proclaiming himself as the unrivaled king of the outdoor domain. This has cultivated a fan base that mirrors his intensity, with nearly all of them being fervent supporters. He has faced his share of setbacks, leading him to adopt a more subdued demeanor. Tang Lang, on the other hand, is a martial artist who has clinched several championships in Sanda competitions, later transitioning to streaming. He has steadily established himself on Peanut over the past year, thanks to his impressive skills and fiery personality. Given their shared traits, the two often collaborate on programs. As for the two female streamers, without beauty filters, they would still score a solid 7 out of 10, qualifying as beauties among the average populace. However, Lin Chen does not know them. In truth, regardless of the streaming platform, it is ultimately the male streamers who uphold the outdoor scene. Female streamers, even if they attain the status of outdoor queens, cannot compare to their male